I don't have any announcements, but Kate's not here currently, so I will say what they have. They have an Etsy shop which you can check out, Kate Craft Studio US on Etsy, as well as all of the Redbubble links and other links that we talk about every week. That's all in the chat, all in the video descriptions. Not as much in chat anymore because it's better to put it all in the video descriptions. But yeah, you can check it all out there and support Kate because Kate's great. And yeah. So, last we left off, you all escaped the, well, not you all, three of you escaped the prison of Arcane's Bane, having made it out with Flitz's plane shift, while Vonkar and Hopper fell into the vortex and were churned up. The three that survived were returned to the Wish Manor, where there was discussions on what to do next, involving hunting down Valestria, but there were mentions that people needed to rest up because they weren't able to do much right now, and it might be failure if they go half-cocked. So you decided to be at least somewhat proactive and scoured the little island for the ship that Druck and Dax were restoring before they left to do their own thing for Flitz. And eventually, after walking through the swampy jungles, you found the ship, and it was prepared somewhat, and in the brig was the skeleton of some sort of captive who had been, like, booby-trapped to a collection of acrid barrels. Grin successfully opened one of the barrels without it jostling around too much, and activating the tripwires that were connecting all the barrels, and you all took about 6 vials of acrid, and stored some away in Hildesvini for safekeeping, so they didn't get jostled around and explode. Antyr put one in a little pouch of sand, so it also didn't jostle around and explode. And realizing the ship was booby-trapped to such a point that sailing it would not be advisable, you all headed back to the manor, and along the way, encountered weird flatworm-like parasites that seemed to be able to, like, mimic the sounds of the prey they were eating, and decided to just keep moving on. And the encounter that I had built for that did not get stepped on, which is fine, probably for the best. And you kept going, and eventually, when you arrived at the manor, that's when Vonkar and Hopper were returned to life by Anti-Gothel, and while they were dead, they were ferried along the ley lines, like all the souls of the Fate Touch do, as per the diagrams and theories you saw before. And as they were floating around in the kind of heart of the Everlasting Arbor, they saw other souls there that were going into the ley lines and fueling the Grand Restoration to bring the moon down and blow everything up. You saw shadows that seemed to be either attacking the tree or doing something, flying around the tree. You also heard the sounds of a bear while there was a bear. And one of the shadows dropped and stopped moving, and another Fate Touch soul joined the pool at that moment, while the other shadow darted off really quick for some reason. The two of you were then heard the voice of Anti-Gothel saying, your work's not done yet because of Vonkar's bargain. Thankfully, restoring both Vonkar and Hopper to life, and ironing that those two can no longer be brought back to life via the Gothel bargain. Reunited, spoke about what to do next, and decided it would be best for everyone to rest up, tend to wounds, and prepare for what was next. So Eustace made a meal for everybody, a hot meal. You all ate it. Explained to Flitz what Flitz saw, or what you all saw, what Vonkar and Hopper saw at the Everlasting Arbor. Flitz wondered if Druck was attacking the tree or something went on at the tree, wasn't sure, so he said he was going to get in touch with Druck and try to figure out what went on there. Everyone kind of did their own affairs before bed. Hopper went to speak with Aelinor, the unconscious Aelinor, trying to fill them in with things they may have missed while they were possessed for thousands of years, while Antyr went to the temple for quiet meditation. Morning came with the Grand Restoration, which saw the world returned back to the material plane, reformed, and you all were sent back to Port Crake, minus Doe and some other people. And when you returned to Port Crake, Falcus reached out with the Sending Stone, mentioning that Dawnbreak Cove was basically being sunk beneath the tide, by a big chunk of the moon that landed, and you know, the moon fell and everything went bad. Is essentially the gist of all that, and the message that Falcus sent cut off before it could end. You all raced to Port Crake, the city proper, as you saw a tidal wave rushing towards the city as this one or so fragments landed on this flying continent, rushed to the city, saved as many people as you could, and eventually all retreated into the sewers and leapt into a portal that, by luck rolls, was still there, and ended up in a weird sort of demi-planar tower, which was there 20 sessions ago, roughly. That Grin explored briefly, and you fully went in here this time, and with Grin's warp sense, discovered that the doorways, the shadowy demi-plane doorways, were leading to different times on the material plane, but couldn't fully decipher when and where exactly. The caretaker of the place showed up, called Albert, and explained that you guys explained that you were fleeing the Grand Restoration. He explained that it happened already hundreds of years ago, or a long time ago. Questions about paradoxes came up, and eventually he agreed to help you out and sent you through a portal that would have taken you 2 days after the Grand Restoration started to the Drakeward Desert, where a war camp was set up. And as you exited, you could see a big old war camp having been set up a few miles out of the Everlasting Arbor, and familiar faces walking around, mainly Flitz. Flitz told you some stuff, which I don't really recall, but it wasn't really super important. Yeah.
There was something that Albert mentioned that didn't line up with our timeline.
Oh, he's mentioned that Valestria had 2 arms for his time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was because he refused to admit that Valestria. He also
refused to reveal certain things because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that Vonkar said, like, if Queen Valestria were to exist, how many arms would you think she had? And then he was like 2, and Vonkar was like, but like that's wrong because she has 1. And then like Antyr noticed
there's like a weird like thing happened,
a shift,
and then the only warning he gave you is that if you succeed and beat whoever this is, there will be a power vacuum, and most likely someone will also try to suck the weave up while it's falling apart.
Nice and juicy.
Yeah. Got sent to the campsite 2 days after the Grand Restoration started. Grand Restoration still going on. As Albert said, it lasts around a couple hundred years before it to fully end. And he arrived at the war camp. Briefly spoke with Flitz about what had gone on the last few days. Flitz just said wrangling people up for what was to come, and they built this war camp. You saw your own kind of tent nearby that was labeled the Funky Casuals, and we're going to pick up there as you all kind of finish talking to Flitz, and Flitz mentions they have stuff to do, and they walk off. You can see numerous tents set up in this massive war camp in the heart of the desert. It's a few miles out from the tree, which is about a mile tall, in like a vibrant kind of orangish green bloom. The rest of the desert is an arid, cracked, dry wasteland of orange sand and dirt. This tree is the only discernible vegetation in the immediate area, aside from a few stray cactuses, or cacti rather. And then writhing through the air around the tree are the roots, the ley lines, glowing a bright green, having done what they needed to do by throwing the moon down. There is currently no more moon. The war camp is roughly the size of a small town, and there are thousands of individuals gathered from numerous humanoids to unseelie and seelie fae alike. Some tents have been set up as small shops, medicine tents, canteens, and more, so it is just very much like a makeshift town that has come together, because people it doesn't look like people know how long they're going to be here for. A large tent dominates the center of the war camp, and it's made of like a dark purple fabric, and standing guard around this tent and patrolling the town-sized encampment appear to be numerous individuals of various factions. You can see ordinary humanoids in like basic leather and metal armor, like they're just ordinary people. A few bipedal forest mammals in the leaf-like armor of the Green Guard. A small handful of knights in platinum armor sporting the visage of a dragon upon their helmets, which you can recognize from the various knights who drowned in Anundil City. A couple of gray-skinned, halfling-sized, scrawny, elf-like creatures in hooded cloaks patrolling, and they're patrolling with feral-looking gnomes with wispy beards and pointed red hats, which Hopper, Grin, and Antyr would recognize as
Redcaps.
Redcaps. The scrawny elf-like guys, halfling-sized elves that are scrawny and gray, you wouldn't probably know what those are. The Redcaps are riding around on dark-furred hounds with humanoid faces, which the three of you, Grin, Hopper, Antyr, would recognize as Yeth hounds. There's also a large collection of what are clearly pirates. And the last faction appears to be the now leaderless Lay Guardians in their layered turquoise robes. And then, nearby is your own tent, marked by a sign that reads The Funky Casuals, but it's spelled like the correct way.
So the incorrect way for us, but the correct way for everybody else?
Yep.
Got it, okay.
It's a large pale blue tent with a single living space dominated by 5 hammocks and elegant carpets kind of spread out across the floor, so there's no like desert dirt underneath. And even though the sky is a constant mint green, you can tell that the sun has just recently set.
Oh, so I guess we've been expected.
We did send a... we're the ones who kind of directed everyone here, so...
They spelled our name wrong.
Well, phonetically it's correct.
I think they've got other priorities.
Plus, I mean, funky. Alright.
We snow.
He's gonna play some slap bass.
You can hear like people playing music, people laughing and drinking, just kind of what would go on
At the end of the world.
in a war camp. Like, what else are we gonna do? Let's just try to have some fun.
If Grin like flies up,
Yeah.
can he see anything curious? And he's kind of looking for points of interest that to try his divine sense. Is there anything like that in the area? Like
It's a
any
lot of
curious.
a lot of tents.
Okay.
A lot of weird creatures roaming around that are
Okay.
Fey-like. Some you definitely don't recognize. Again, a big tent that dominates the entire center of the war camp, which looks like it might be like the command tent. Probably nothing really curious and weird going on. It's all pretty.
Okay. Grin will just fly up and then just kind of do a little patrol for a bit while everybody else does
Okay.
some stuff.
Would there have... because I know, it was kind of a long session last week. Was there any, or potentially any mention of like a war camp discussion now that we're here, or like a meetup, or... okay.
No. The war camp nah.
But it wasn't like, okay, now that y'all are here, let's
Nothing's
Let's
really
get down to
no,
business.
nothing's
Okay.
really
It
happened
kind of just started growing as people showed up, and just happened.
And this, like, you're here like 2 days in, so this war camp's been
Got
out
it,
for like
okay.
probably 2 days or so.
Yeah.
But you do know that
Eh.
all the Fey touched shared a dream the night before, where they all saw themselves being called to the tree.
call it a tree, right?
Probably
But we're
more-
technically 2 days or a day behind that.
About a day behind that, yeah. So
Okay.
this war camp's only been. This has all been set up in the span of a day.
Yeah.
Right. Got it. Okay, that makes sense with all these people coming in.
But you can see like there's like an airship that's probably docked nearby somewhere. It's like tied down to the ground. There's lots of like traveling wagons and lots of caravans that have traveled to get here. A lot of healers, just like not like powerful magical healers, but like people in like doctoral like robes that are like like here like the 10 minor wounds and stuff.
Does it look like anybody has faced combat so far?
No.
Or has engaged in any enemies?
No,
okay.
the camp is still relatively like.
Okay, so it doesn't look like a
jovial.
war or anything like that has happened.
No.
It just looks like they're
as jovial as I can be with what is currently going on in the sky with the ley lines. Every single ley line kind of flailing around that tree, all stemming from that tree. And the sky is still like a vibrant mint green, even at like all times of the day. It's that vibrant.
Okay.
Real pristine armor.
Antyr's gonna call the group into the tent.
Okay, you can call everybody in the tent. Grin is currently like patrolling through the air.
Antyr's gonna point up at the sky and press their finger to their ear and do message.
Okay.
Grin, could you come down just for a few minutes?
Hello. All right.
Antyr's going to. Is there like a table or anything like that?
Yeah, there's probably like a tiny little table
Okay.
and some like like people to sit around and eat at, and there's like just simple hammocks for everybody.
Antyr's gonna open their book on the table and to a page they've been working on for some time, and is gonna lay the book and is gonna lay out their astral cord, unfurl it so that it makes a ring around it, but large enough where it pretty much probably will encompass a large portion of the table.
Yeah.
And is going to look to each of the members. Can I have something special or dear to you? That you...
What is this for?
Yeah, is it gonna like
No, it's
destroy
not-
it? What's going on?
No, it's not going to destroy it. It is just a conduit to for a spell that I'm going to use. I want to see if it
What kind of
works.
spell?
Can you just trust me, please?
Yeah, Grin's gonna give him the noose-looking whip.
Okay.
Andrew will take out their own No, they actually got rid of that. Oh, shit.
Before we proceed, I just realized something.
Sure.
Looking at the map of the continent, Grin, when you were flying around doing your patrol, you would have seen the crater from your session 0 to the southeast, 12 miles.
Wow.
You would have seen where
distance.
you died once.
Like, if you didn't if the crystal didn't or if Valestria's Luminspire didn't quickly send you and Vonkar out of the pit, you would have seen this tree just to the northwest. But you can see, as you're doing your patrol, you can see the crater where that airship crashed to the southeast.
Oh, we were that close to a desert?
Yeah, you crashed.
We're in a
You
desert.
crashed.
Right in the
You crashed in the desert,
Oh shit.
Yeah.
and this
Cool.
So if you look on the map, if you're on Owlbear, where the little red circle is in the Drakewar Desert, it's right beside the Whispers crater.
Whispers crater. Whispers. Which is funny and ironic for an airship. I don't imagine airships are that quiet.
But yeah, you're relatively close to that crash site. Strangely enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah, you'd see that, and then you'd see the tree, and the airship crashed really close to this tree.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Coincidence.
fate.
What a coincidence.
But yeah, sorry, that's what Grin would have seen when they did their patrol.
Okay.
And now you're all back in the tent.
I'm going to reach down and pull off this red ribbon that's been tied around my right ankle this whole time.
Red ribbon gang.
Yeah, red ribbon. It's Red Ribbon Week, guys. And I'm gonna. No, I don't think it is. It's close. But I'm gonna hand that over.
Okay.
Mhm.
Give him the amulet, Vonkar.
I mean, that's the main thing he would pick, but he can't take it off.
You could. You can
could, but
take
you
it
won't.
off.
Do you? So is it attunement base that it suppresses it, or is it?
I think it's
bases?
also wearing it.
Got it. That makes sense. I don't know, what's something that you have grown close with? I just need it for once for the first casting of this. It sets the spell, and then
Just pull out a
That's it.
tooth.
I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna pluck out a beard hair.
Oh, here we go. Vonkar will pull out a donkey bridle
Oh
that he's had
no!
in his
Oh yeah.
in his inventory.
Oh.
Torger, do you have anything that you would like to special to you? Maybe your book. Is that dear to you? I can use.
He is not going to take my book.
I'm not going to take your book. I just need it for a few 10 minutes and 60 seconds. No, 10 minutes and 6 seconds. That's all I need.
Oh,
10
no,
minutes and 60 seconds.
you can straight up fuck off if you're trying to take my book.
I do not want to keep your book. You could
You-
watch me do it.
You wants to take let me see.
When your eyes just.
Rip
You
the
wants to
tattoo
take
off.
organs out of my body? I'll slap them on the table here.
Do you value those much?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
This gets in the way of my muscle.
So you need something of value?
This is strictly for RP's sake. It is not pertinent to the spell at all.
Wow.
Personal significance.
It
I
is
guess
playing into this whole bond building we've been doing as a group.
All right, I'll watch you.
Okay.
Takes the book out. It's got
I catch fireball right on it.
no, good luck, because it doesn't.
That's
Kill
true.
yourself.
It would be the only thing to survive, like, that and the whip.
No, it's got the cover of it looks like Harriet the Spies. Like it's like a composition book that says private on it.
Nice.
Like written
That's good.
rudely. The R's backwards. All right, Antyr, with all those, Antyr will begin ritually casting telepathic bond, and part of the reason of having these is these imageries within the book begin to form at these different components. So these, like, a book appears, and then a wrapped bandana, a whip, and a bridle. As well as all kind of on the they are at each point, major point, I guess you can say, each 3-hour interval, so of a timepiece. So you have at the 12 o'clock, it would probably be the book. The 3 o'clock would probably be the whip, the bridle, and then the bandana. But it's essentially creating and adding that as a portion of the incantation, so the written part of the book. So, yeah. But it's pulling from the tendrils.
5 points. Looks like you're making a pentagram. That sounds cool.
No, it's only the y'all are the 4 points, and he's the 5th.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or they're the
In
5th.
the
They're the
center.
timepiece. No, they're the timepiece itself. So it's a
okay.
timepiece with y'all at different major intervals of a timepiece. Yeah. So, but pulling from the green tendrils and creating almost like a tether as for 10 minutes and 6 seconds.
Perfect.
Vonkar,
There you go.
what do you think that toaster?
Magic.
I mean, yeah, magic. But you needed something from all of us? Or is that?
We'll find out.
I mean, yeah, but. Oh, this is 10 minutes is a long time!
Oh, the impatience of youth.
So true. He's
Remembering that Grin is
6
like
years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a baby.
Grin is 6 years old, and Vonkar is like 300.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
10
5,
minutes.
so yeah.
It's like 10 minutes. You mean the blink of an eye? Vonkar regularly just zones out for 3 hours at a time. Just stares off into space.
That's why it
Does
works
not
whenever
realize
you.
time
That's
has passed.
why it works whenever
There's
you leave.
like a hard candy or a caramel that just
Stays
That's why,
forever.
that's why old people like hard candy.
Yeah, that's why Vonkar just like has a bag of Werthers and it's just like
That's why old people like hard candy, because it sticks around for a minute. It doesn't go away. Otherwise, it's just gone like that.
just
And
like
you
that.
forget you even had a snack.
you're just like something to do while I stare.
Wow, I just exist.
As you're all like focusing on the spell and doing all this, you hear like a tiny little explosion outside the tent, and then like shh, and then another. Poof. It sounds like people are setting off fireworks.
Celebrating the end of the world.
It sounds like people just having like drunken revelry
Yeah.
to celebrate
It's
the end
just,
times.
So many orgies, guys.
Oh, you can hear
So
them.
many.
You can hear them.
Oh, many orgies. All the
You can
orgies.
hear them.
That's why
Although-
that's why all this loud music playing everywhere to like drown it out. It's like you're basically at Burning Man right now.
Hey, are you one of the fate touched? Yeah.
Would you like to be?
Oh.
You look like you got a little fey in you. I really don't.
Yeah, you finished. Moving on. You finish casting the spell. The telepathic bond forms.
So with the completion of the spell, the tendrils of green that bind us, I guess you can say to a degree, kind of solidify a bit more and kind of gravitate a bit more toward the head. So I imagine Antyr and, if I'm not mistaken, it's Antyr and Grin can see them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point Grin would have seen Antyr like pulling at them and like redirecting them to where they aren't flowing through like a central point in like the body. It looks like they're more focused, and they seem to connect through the like almost like the temples of the group, manipulating them, and then at the end of it, everyone in their minds can hear Antyr's voice. Hello, is it working?
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Is this? Are you casting message right now?
Grin broadcasting to everybody is just like, oh, I wonder what it's doing. What's going on? Huh, I'm hungry.
Green, for the love of the gods, shut the fuck up.
You can have your own thoughts. This is all it is all silent. You can have your own thoughts, but if you can push your thoughts into the minds of others.
Imagine there's just a
willingly.
moment where we all of our thoughts intermingle for a second, so you can just all hear what the inside of our heads feel
Just
like before we
chaos,
kind of
just-
separated.
It's just
Yeah.
everybody saying, this is weird at the same
Oh.
time.
Vonkar, everyone's just getting the sound of like radio static.
Yeah.
Just purposeful radio static.
No, that's just what the inside of his head sounds like.
Vodka in general. So this can last, an answer will speak out. This can last for up to an hour. So I would like to. This would be a nice thing to do whenever we go and have discussions, and we want to be able to communicate to each other, but not have everyone know what we're saying necessarily. We can discuss topics that are addressed, and we can come up with our own conclusions without judgment or fear of saying the wrong thing.
This is a very smart idea, Antyr.
Wait, so you guys can hear everything I'm thinking?
I can only
No.
hear what you
Oh.
project.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. This one.
Yeah. This was something that I don't know if everybody was in on this, but
Yeah.
when in a past one where we had used like some telepathic stuff before, doing this was
Mhm.
essentially everything I'm saying right now is over your head.
Yeah.
your
is in
brain.
everyone's heads.
Yeah.
So
To
It's
help,
in your brain.
to help differentiate, yeah.
yeah.
What was that gave us that?
I think it
The
was
first time I
I think it was in Beneath the Tide. We
It
had
was-
an item or something.
Yeah.
Universal.
Yeah.
This is your brain. This is your brain talk.
yeah.
This
First
is
time I did it on this, in this network was Melody Buford Forrester.
Icon legend. Ashes.
Anyway,
ashes.
Oh no, Turtle. Sorry.
But yeah,
and ashes.
you have the telepathic bond up.
But no, we can't hear your own thoughts. You can, again, you possess is allowed. You possess your own ability to think freely, but you can push thoughts to the others as needed. So no one can invade your own mind.
I have to go to the bathroom. Do I have
Okay,
to go to the
Grin.
bathroom? No, I
Next
don't.
time, I
Never mind.
I can remove the whip from the equation. But Antyr will return the items back to the others.
Okay.
I might have to go to the bathroom.
All right, now we're just saying things aloud.
Yeah, Vonkar said that out loud. In his head.
Now we're
Out
just
loud.
saying things aloud.
Vonkar's like, you don't need telepathy to hear my thoughts. I'll just say them.
But he also thought it, so there was like a little bit of a delay. So
It was a double. It was a double.
like when someone when you're gaming with someone but they leave their TV on, so you
Oh,
get like
You hear it like way in the distance.
Yeah.
I have to pee.
no, but the inflection was different on both of them.
Yeah.
Your head voice is different. It's like 120 years younger. Like
Still young.
So yeah, it's just out loud. I have to pee. In his head, I have to pee.
So sweet, but so sad.
the voice you read in. Oh man. Good. I like that.
Enter, where did you learn how to do this?
I've been with the spell and holds up the ring or actually flicks the earring. I understand the potential of doing this, but this actually is not. It's a bit of an offset. It's just something I was working on for some time. I knew we needed a means of talking to each other and communicating with each other without speaking. Some of us say some things aloud in group settings that can be upsetting. So I think it might be best to allow us a means to say those things without being said aloud to convey to the group. I also have another spell that I can do, but that is a surprise.
Oh, okay. So if we want to take advantage of this right now, do we split up or stick together, and then start asking questions about like, go to the important spots in this camp? Because I don't know about you guys, but we gotta sort this stuff out and get people in shape because they are not ready for what's coming.
Yeah.
What, you want me to train everybody how to punch hard?
It's not about training, just telling them that, hey, we fought Valestria and, she's got like a big whale thing that, I mean, you're gonna have to, I don't even know what we're gonna do about it, but something's gotta be done. These people have to be a little bit more ready than like, dicks in hand.
Okay.
Another firewood
alright.
goes off.
All right, then. Taking what Grin said to heart, I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion
Okay.
and essentially create a sandwich board and start walking around.
Okay.
Tips and tricks for fighting evil queens.
Okay.
Ooh,
Giant
nice.
whales.
So
Love that. That's funny.
Oh, by the way, you can go infinitely far away, but as long as you're on the same plane. So yes, you're not limited.
Oh yeah, I'm going to tell everybody they're gonna think I'm so cool, but I wants to be so casual.
as you're roaming around with your sandwich board, you can see there's like some people like just trying to have some semblance of good time before shit hits the fan. There's people training, people patrolling, people on guard, and then, you know.
So, guys,
Yes.
I want to inspect the tree.
Excellent. I was going to do that myself.
The tree is a few miles out, so it'd take some time to get there.
You
Just so
know,
guys
once things calm down and the heat is not so intense, the desert is immense, and so I think we should go at night. It is. One could say it was flat and immense, and the heat it is intense. But hey, it's home.
Really isn't. We're not from here.
True.
Without the sun,
Could be.
without the sun,
Just-
without the sun being able to penetrate the Grand Restoration, like flaring in the sky, there is like no heat.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna start recording a spell. I have a couple spells I can do, so I'm gonna start doing that.
Okay.
Check my component pouch. How many of that
Well,
do I have?
I mean, I guess before we all go investigate the tree, maybe it has been a long time since we've had resources at our disposal. Do any of you have money? I don't have any of it, but I know that maybe we can get some items that will help.
What's you need? How much you need? What's you need for money?
Where I can't,
He's gonna say outside.
where I can't carry too much money on me, so I just have been giving it to Torger. But maybe we could all kind of talk about like what we might need based on how the last battle went.
Think potions might be useful.
I don't know. I feel like if we got potions, we got bigger problems, you know? I mean, we have a number of potions already, but, I-
Are you talking about the ACRID?
no, but yes and no. But, how can I say this? I got ways to bring people back. You know, if you're at, like, the brink. But, maybe, we encountered some stuff that suppressed magic. Maybe we could look into that. We also encountered a fair amount of things that were resistant to, you know, what we were dishing out. So maybe we could look into that. And maybe tell people that a lot of this magic stuff, maybe we could broadcast this information we have, since we haven't really been able to do that. Make sure that everybody knows what's coming.
Well, you're the representative. You're the representative of the Rose Court, so I imagine you would have some sway. So I think you should go and speak with the Fey Courts.
Where's their camp?
He like flies up just a little bit, not to get out of like ear's
Yeah.
reach of you guys, but just enough to be like, "Where's up?" He just does a spin.
There's
sees that
the only
Rose
tent that
Quartz
really
is, like,
stands out.
specifically. You know,
The only tent that really stands out is a massive command tent in the center of the war camp, where like some Fey are guarding it, some Green Guard are guarding it, which are Oberon's knights. Other factions are guarding that tent.
we'll fly back down.
I think they're Oberon or Tatiana and maybe both of them are over there.
They're here already?
I mean, it's been 2 days. And they got, we saw Oberon just kind of like step through the air into the Feywild, so.
Well, based on his dining experience with us, I'm surprised they came at all.
Oh,
They made a promise. They made a deal.
yeah.
Oberon did not. He was not
Well,
present.
Your wife goes into combat. I don't think you. I could be mistaken. Your wife's not here, so. That's not a jab. That's just a saying. I don't know what
Those are
the.
things that I am keeping from saying. That I could say, but I will not say in this circumstance.
Guys,
I didn't mean it mean. I just
guys,
mean
guys.
it in a way of.
No, it's
I get
not
this.
that.
Guys, Antyr, they're just trying to, shed some of that, rough edges that they've been carrying around for a while, right?
All I will say is, I know what Oberon has been missing out on. And I understand. If he
Valid.
were to take an extra day or two.
Very valid. I understand now. I get your point. I guess where that. Yes. Okay. Got it. I'm going to take a walk.
Okay, so
I was
you're
going to record a spell, but that's a lot of money that I do not want to spend.
all right. So you're also going for a walk. Torger went for a walk with the sandwich board.
Wait, if you need cash, wait, did you at all
No.
express?
Oh
So
well,
wait, so
I
wait-
actually would have. I actually would have since it was initially broadcast to me by Torger anyway. I probably would have said that telepathically as well as out loud.
Antyr didn't specify it though telepathically that they didn't want to spend money. So
Oh, okay.
So does anybody needs cash? I know you said you want cash, but I'm Hildsvinis. Oh, we're busting at the seams with cash, so. All
You got
right.
some money?
Well,
No, I think if we're gonna do something, it would be to maybe entice people's energy towards things that will help. I don't know exactly what that is. Do any of you guys have any ideas?
I mean, we could go around to the other groups and figure out who they are, what they're expecting, maybe prepare them face to face.
Hopper, you probably have experience with war camps compared to
Yeah.
anybody else. Generally, in terms of supplies, it's going to be like basic necessities and supplies like weapons,
Yeah.
armor, food,
Mm-hmm.
basic healing like medicine kits, not like anything
Yeah.
magical. Probably mostly
Like
just
bandages.
like basic supplies that you can quickly use
Yeah.
without things people don't need like arcane experience to use things and anybody can use without training kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. So perhaps I could go around, see what the others have brought with them, and kind of take a tally of what we are working with.
But
Alright.
but since there is Fae and unsteely Fae here, they probably brought their own weird stuff for them to use.
Yeah.
Alright, so maybe this is what we do with this gift Antyr's given us for the next hour. We split up. I will go and try to convince everyone, or at least as many people as possible, to, get into fighting shape and also tell them what we encountered regarding the magic disrupting effect that these creatures have. And also that, or more information about the battle we had with Valencia, with the area that she put up.
Yes.
yeah, and I will walk around with my sandwich board and challenge peoples to knowledge fights, where I wrestle them with my arms, and then if they lose, they got to do what I say in battle. But if they wins, they can gives me a tattoo.
Torger just out here becoming a commander of legions
Yeah.
over an arm wrestle.
Wrestling his soldiers one person at a time.
Yeah.
That's how you win respect.
I thought you would more.
So the front of the sandwich board says, "Ask me about my muscles." At the
Okay,
back says,
so as you're wandering around with that sandwich
"Secrets
board,
about defeating
yeah.
Queen."
So as you're wandering with that sandwich board that says "Ask me about my muscles," someone
Also, I would like to peep as I'm going. I would
Yeah.
like to see if there. Someone mentioned something about potions, and I would like to make sure everyone's safe. So I'm sitting. No one in our party has bid on the amount of cash I have. So then I am going to be
Okay.
ravenous for potions. To see if
So
anyone had.
no potions. It's all like basic medical supplies, like healers kits. So that's the only form of like healing items that are going to be here. As you're wandering around, you do see this like massive ogre, just like sitting around a fire with some other people. They all look bruised as shit. The ogre's like arm muscles are like easily the size of your entire body. And he's just sitting there. What about your muscles? Looking at your sandwich board. What about them?
Yeah, yours looks pretty chubby right now, and I wants to take you down.
Oh. Stands up to like 12 feet tall.
Oh yeah, I see that you's longs, but you's got no girth.
Grabs his stool that he was sitting on.
That absolutely weighs 3 times as much as I do.
And is gonna try to like club you in the head with it.
Hell yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on, come on.
Let me pull up an ogre stat block real quick.
Does he try and melee attack, or does he throw it at me?
Oh, he's like trying to hit you on the head with it, like over, like while he's standing
okay.
above.
Cool.
Obviously not to like kill, but just be like.
Oh yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Oh, I'm being incredibly disrespectful. So this all tracks.
That's gonna be an 18. Just swings
there's going
the
to be
stool down.
just a quick but sassy sidestep that's just roll the shoulder, but let the wind of it come by as it hits the ground.
It makes like a deep impact in the dirt. It's not like soft. There's like parts of soft sand and like hard cracked dirt, and it just like craters the dirt. Ugh.
So then there's a centimeter raise in Torger's like feeling the impact blows. Oh, I see you likes to till the earth. Are you making the garden?
No.
Oh, you wants to plant some peonies. You's a gardener.
He's gonna try to swing his stool again.
Oh.
21.
That is what my AC is.
So as you're like talking about planting peonies, he just like hits you in the side of the head with it. Just.
Okay.
13 bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm surprised you're still standing.
So I see you use stool more than just fertilizer. Okay.
He looks at his buddies that are like sitting with him, who are just like assorted other lineages, and they're just like, huh?
I want to jump up. I want to slap him.
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
Absolute slap.
You like climb up his belly to do it?
Get him, Torger.
Like clamber up the belly to go for a smack?
I get 2 attacks, so I am going to.
Slaps his belly.
Slap the
going
belly.
to. The goal is.
Thanks, belly.
Painful.
The goal is to smack up his body until I get to his face, so he's like, what, and confused, and then smack his face.
Go for it.
Pink belly this man into unconsciousness.
Oh, could you imagine? That would suck.
That's 19 to hit.
Oh, absolutely. He's got no armor on.
Alright, and that is another 26 to hit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
he's
that
already like
is-
battered and bruised, so he's not at like full health.
That's 23 to hit.
Yep.
And then that is 13 to hit on the last one.
Yeah, all hit.
Oh,
Okay.
Not wearing any
Lord.
armor. Yeah.
To quote
that
the
is-
strongest of the Eds, pink belly.
Yes, it is a pink belly. So that's 7, 10, 10. So that's 27 and 35 total. But it is going to be smack, 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 and then I am going to double flick his ears.
Okay.
The last one.
With the flick, it causes him to like stumble backwards and pass out, landing on like one of his friends who's like sitting on a stool. Just unconscious, knocked out cold. But the person underneath you can hear go like muffled, like "Help me!"
Okay, I want to pull him out or like use some strength to move this.
Yeah,
guy.
easily you can just pull the guy out, and it's like a tiny like lavender scaled kobold. Ah!
I want to stabilize this dude too. I want
Oh,
to stabilize.
easily. Medicine
Medicine.
check. He's unconscious, so he's not like dying or anything.
Yeah. So, medicine check. The 6.
All right.
Smelling salts, I toot in his face.
Yeah, he's just knocked out cold, but he'll be fine. It wasn't like lethal blows.
Yeah, no respect.
Wow.
And then you like pull the kobold.
Yeah.
You pull like the kobold out who got like flattened by the ogre. He's like, thank you.
I pull him out and I go, "Use guts. This is what happens if you don't have a healthy fear and a healthy respect. That's what I tells you about my muscles."
Okay. Okay. I'll tell everyone to fear. To fear.
No, don't even worry. What you've got to know is that the queen, she creates a bubble, and it's huge, and you can't fire anything in.
So we gotta
You've
run
got-
in.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, you've got to run in, and you've got to. You can't fire anything in, and you can't use magics inside. You've got to get in, and you use your muscles.
Okay.
And they just crack, 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 crack.
Okay.
Doesn't even,
got it.
Doesn't even use the other hand. Just has them. Just and also you can see just calcified, disgusting knuckles.
Yeah.
From years of just punching walls.
Thanks. He grabs like the pot of stew they were like warming over the fire, and he like scoops some of it and dumps it on the ogre's face to wake the ogre up.
That's hot stew.
The ogre's just like, whoa, and sits up.
Boiling hot
And
stew.
so
He's
Torger
fine.
is going to offer a
He's probably
hand
simmering.
to. Torger is going to offer a hand to the ogre.
Oh, his
Trying-
entire hand just like swallows your arm.
It just helps. So he's just going to lean back and help pull him
Oh,
up. Yeah, welcome Specs to the land of the awake, big fella.
You
As I
hit
was
hard.
telling everyone, we're going to need you. We're going to need everybody.
So I could barely make out your conversation in my daze. I have the perfect thing for this. We have this, and you can see his companions are all like small lineages, like halflings, gnomes, and kobolds. He's like, look, and he like pushes some stuff with it, and like he moves this like beige tarp that was concealing this like backpack mechanism with like a catapult on it. And they're like, yeah, we climb on that, and he throws us at things.
Okay, so you guys going to ride Thick Rick here into battle.
I never had a nickname before.
Yeah, Thicardo Ricardo.
I like it. Okay, well, and then you can see this is probably why the smaller guys are so bruised, as they've been testing this thing out. And you can see like little impact craters like 20, 30 feet away, where they've been like landing and then scurrying back to do it again.
Hmm.
Doesn't explain how
I
the
got-
ogre is bruised, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes things misfire and you get whipped by your friends in the back of your arm.
Do you want to take a ride on it real quick?
Oh yeah, hells yeah!
All right, he puts it on, straps it in. One of the kobold there's like a seat at the top too. The kobold like clambers into that, gets in the seat, buckles himself in, and then starts turning a crank which lowers the catapult arm. Climb in, whenever.
Yeah, so he climbs in, but he looks at everyone and he goes, "See you later!" Ah!
And then the kobold hits the lever, and you get launched like 30 feet directly forward. Just.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Antyr, as you're leaving the tent, you can see Torger just arcing through the air.
Doppler effect.
All right.
That would be nice.
Torger, you can have some. You can have a D12 of inspiration.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
Hell yeah!
But Antyr, you step out of the tent. What are you doing?
Antyr is Antyr has kind of understands the reason why people are acting as they are in the camp. He understands the gravity of it, but I don't think he feels as urgent as Grin does. So Antyr's kind of wandering about, but they're going to eventually wander over to the platinum plated individuals.
Like with the dragon shaped helmets, the Anundio Crown's Guard. Okay.
Yeah.
There's maybe 10 total.
Yeah.
And you can see this is probably what survived of the city's guards.
The guards, yeah.
Yeah, they're all sitting. They're all sitting around a fire, and there's a vacant seat, and there's the 10 of them, and they're cooking what looks like to be a whole roast pig.
Pretty small group here.
Yes, of course. We lost most of our forces a few days ago.
Are you leaderless?
No. Our leader is here in the camp somewhere, speaking with the other commanders. Well, speaking with the friends of theirs. They're not with. Yeah, they're here though, somewhere.
That's good. Sorry about what happened to the others.
Thank you.
Gonna gesture toward the helmet.
Yeah.
The iconography seems to depict just a single one.
This helmet would depict features
Would it
of
depict
both
both?
dragons. Yeah, it's
Got
been
it, okay.
changed. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I saw what happened, I guess. And I wanted to extend my condolences to you and yours.
Appreciate it. We lost a lot of good people when the city teleported underwater or whatever. The king was a good man, as was his council.
It was the whole city then, right?
Yeah, the whole city. A few of us, the 10 of us, went on a training mission with the general. And that's why we went in the city when it, we're only recruits.
What's something to be recruited into doing?
Well, we're all that's left, so it's up to us.
Yeah, I'd advise maybe making friends, making allies if you can.
Been trying our best.
The pirates look fun.
Yeah. They're a bit rowdy. And they keep setting off fireworks and
That's them.
drinking and having bacchanalian feasts and orgies. It's been quite distracting. It helps a little. The chaos is distracting.
Completely understood. Alright, well, that's all I really had to. I was just walking by and just recognized your armor. So.
Well, best of luck with whatever happens to you and yours. If
You as well. It is not going to scare you, frighten you, hopefully, but it is going to be something. I would advise.
our commander knows a few things and has explained a few things for us, but they're also in the dark a little bit. Their main sort of informant went quiet a while ago, and then they just found out that their informant also passed away recently, so...
Alright. Antyr's gonna stay there for a moment and kind of just give them a small overview of
Okay.
what is to come.
Okay.
Antyr doesn't understand fully why they feel some kind of connection and pull, but I think ever since seeing the fucking mass devastation under the water, and using the brooch, I think occasionally Antyr kind of fiddles with the brooch a bit, knowing what was used
Okay.
to create it. But yeah, it's gonna give a rundown essentially of the different types of creatures that they encountered,
Okay.
as well as the Umbral Knights, and if I'm not mistaken, we know a rough idea of what resistances they may still possess.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Gonna kind of give them that, and yeah.
Okay, you also can have a D12 of inspiration.
Thank you. Or 10 souls. Recruit.
They all look very green. They're definitely recruits.
Yeah, I think part of it. I will say this: a part of it was Antyr kind of lingering to wait for the commander, but I feel like that's not to discuss. It's more like, okay, I discussed this. Okay, they're not here. Okay, I leave. Kind of situation.
But there's definitely like a vacant seat, so you can tell that the commander is here, but
It's
as they said, is
somewhere about,
elsewhere talking with people, like they said.
Beyond that, Antyr's just going to kind of wander.
Okay.
Not really focusing on anything. Just kind of walk.
All right. What about the other three? Anyone want to go first?
Yeah.
Go
Or
ahead.
yeah, we'll let Vonkar go.
Okay. I forget. Where
Sure.
did we leave Sir Arthur?
With the storyteller.
In Storybrooke.
Okay. All right.
Though he's probably still in the Feywild.
Gotcha. Okay. Didn't know if he had shown up here somehow.
No.
Okay. Vonkar's gonna go around and ask around, ironically, for if anyone in their belongings here happens to have a like children's storybook, and he's gonna specifically try and find like this world's equivalent of like a not like a Grimm's fairy tale, but like a fairy tale, like a story that everybody knows.
I'm sure Flitz has something.
Yeah. So it's a lot of people that have come here also look like they are families of people who have come to fight. People that don't know anywhere that's safe, like refugees have been brought here because they can't think of anywhere that's going to be safe during this whole end of time scenario. So you can easily like find people who've brought like belongings with them. There's a very neurotic, nervous looking half elf with like a top knot of like blonde hair, and they seem to be like hoarding a bunch of books and tomes and texts they believe are important. They don't want to get destroyed. And they have like this little wagon just filled with books, and they're just like nervously like looking around to make sure like nobody like pilfers it and steals them.
Hello.
Ah!
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Would you happen to have a storybook anywhere in these books of yours?
Tons. Why?
I'm looking forward to this particular story.
What one?
He said whatever it is. He says it. Whatever is. I don't know.
If you want to make one up, you can make one up.
Especially if there's if there's like a definitely fully fictionalized but like epic like tale of heroes and like a King Arthur kind of.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
There's very much
story.
like Arthurian style fairy tales. Yeah.
Just a story, just a fairy tale of heroes prevailing
Okay.
against darkness.
I got one.
Okay.
It's called The City in Stasis, and it's a very like fantastical Arthurian story of these people who like fought off the forces of darkness in a city frozen in time. And the names are clearly fictional and not real. It's very, very fictional, possibly slightly based on a true story, but it's all very, very fictional. And in it, one of the people makes a deal with some dark entity to save the day, and it backfires, and it's basically a lesson on being careful who you make deals with and who you make promises to. But it's like a dark fairy tale.
See, he wants one with a happy ending.
And then there's another one about a poor guy who finds like a chicken egg in the wilderness, and the chicken egg is like made of solid gold. And every morning a new chicken is hatched, from it, and then the egg reforms. And this poor guy just has like endless chickens to eat, and it's just like for kids. So it's very like simple. There's no like real threat. It's just a guy eating a lot of chicken.
Is there an in between where it's like heroes facing off against the forces of darkness, but also happy ending? Like the Lord of the Rings.
There's
So
one.
Lord of the Rings, no scourging.
There's
Yeah, the movies.
There's one about a bride and groom who fight off a bunch of imps on their wedding day, but the imps were like turned out to be guests, and everyone had a good time. They had a big misunderstanding.
All right, yeah, sure.
One where like the pastries came alive and started attacking people. That was a misunderstanding. Then there's one about these 3 knights who went on a quest to find a sword that was growing inside of a tree, and they spent most of their lifetime trying to get the sword out of the tree, and eventually they did get it out, but it cost the 2 of the knights like entire lifetimes to get the tree out. And when the final knight took it out, he decided that he would dedicate the tree and the sword to his fallen comrades, and then use that sword to like defeat bad guys in his friend's name.
Let's go with that one. I like that one.
All right, cool.
So he's gonna ask if this person has that story.
Oh yeah, I got it somewhere here. Oh yeah, here it is.
Could I borrow it?
Yeah, and he hands you this like very old book called "The Sword in the Boughs."
Nice. All right. I don't have to take it very far. I was just going to read it aloud for some people.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Do you mind if I pull up a stool or something just outside your tent?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
All right. Does this person have one, or does Vonkar need to go get one?
No, there's like stools and stuff.
Actually, is there a rocking chair anywhere around?
Absolutely.
Vonkar will grab the rocking chair and just pull it up outside the front of the tent.
Okay.
And then he's going to sit down with the book, and he's just going to start reading and doing story time with the Grandpa Vonkar.
Perfect. Some kids like gather around. It's mostly children that gather around.
Mm-hmm.
You can see there's children that have been brought along because they had nowhere else to go. So there's children roaming around this war camp. So yeah, mostly kids gather around to hear a story, and it seems to like calm them down a bit because they don't know what's going on, and their parents join. You can tell the parents are very thankful. They give you like they mouth like words of thanks to you, and they seem very appreciative of you helping with the situation.
I figure it also helps from a logistical standpoint of any parents who need to do preparations can
Yeah,
get free babysitting.
You can see some parents like nod their thanks, and they walk off like to like prepare and stuff with like armor and weapons and stuff.
So yeah, Vonkar will do story time and babysitting. And any
Alright.
adults that just need to pretend they're there.
A lot of there's a
supervising
good
the
collection
kids.
of adults too that just sit down and like, okay, cool, some sense of like normalcy and not impending doom.
Mm-hmm.
You can also have a D12 of inspiration, because these three have all done very helpful things towards end goals and stuff. Grin and Hopper, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay. You leave your tent. What is the plan? Grin said there. I think Grin's plan is to head to the command tent.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your kind of dealio?
I think I'm gonna go around to the different party tents, like different
Okay.
adventurers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
and
there's
just
quite a
kinda-
few.
Yeah.
Each of their tents. You can see numerous tents are labeled with like group names, and you can assume that these named tents are probably fate touched like yourselves.
Yeah. So I think I want to. I want to get to know the different abilities of each of these party members.
Okay.
Like, just kind of get a scope for like, what is this party like? What are their strengths and weaknesses? Where can we and like start to like
Okay.
loosely strategize where everyone can be during the battle.
Sure.
If there is one.
A lot of the people gathered here are what I would describe as low-level adventurers, not much like yourselves. You guys are like second tier now, so this is all very much like second tier and first tier people that have been called here and gathered here for what is to come. So it's very rare to come across so-called 20th level, even like fourth tier people. It's a lot of basic stuff, like basic wizards that survived from the Soulspire Academy that are here. You can see like numerous weird party names that people made up on the fly because like a contract asked them to. That sort of stuff.
There's like 4 of them called like the Survivors, and they're like all spelling it differently.
Yeah.
There's like a tent that says, "Do you like go through the entire camp?" You can probably go through the entire camp like while everyone's doing their own thing before like bedtime.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend like most of the day kind of
Okay.
getting stats of as many people as I can.
Yeah, there's like you can see the Wraiths of Ice Hollow, their tent, they're here. The people you fought with in the fight pits and the spider place and all them, they're here. Their tent flaps are closed, so it looks like they're in like private conversations and stuff. And there's a sign up that says "Do not enter." Other names, which I'm not going to say because you'd have no reason to know who they are. You'd recognize the tent party that Flitz mentioned numerous times, the Faust and the Furious. There's a tent there with their name on it. Again, flaps closed. One sign is just as a sign, and it's like been painted purple, and
Okay.
like little white splotches have been painted on the purple like void to represent stars, and there's like a big toothy mouth painted on the sign. That's all it is. One tent for like an adventure group is just 2 people.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there talking amongst themselves, not really doing anything. It's like they're like dwarf sized and wearing like green tinted armor with like a bucket helm, and they're talking to like this golden feathered Aarakocra. They don't have a name. It's just these 2 people hanging out.
Gotcha.
walking past their tent, you'd overhear them saying, "Oh, we've been in war before. This isn't anything new. This just seems a little more." You get a sense like a lot of the as you're walking by a lot of these tents and the hushed conversations, most of the people, a lot of the tents you're seeing closer towards the command tent. Those tents sound like experienced people talking behind like closed flaps of like we've seen war before and whatnot.
Yeah.
You do hear Flitz's voice barely through the tent talking to a couple other people, but like again, no voices that you recognize, just Flitz's.
I think I'm gonna try to peek. I think this would be like how I approach
Yeah.
all of them is like, just, kind of like peek in. It's like, oh hello, I am
Just peeking in the
Thimblefoot.
tents. Okay.
I'm just gonna like bang on like whatever piece of wood and
Okay.
be like, can I come in?
Okay. Pick. We'll say pick. Do you go for any like the ones I like flat out named, like Fast and the Furious, the one with like the toothy maw on it, the Race of Ice
I
Hollow?
wanna go for the one with the toothy maw.
Okay. Sure. You knock on the wood.
Yeah. Like, hello, may I come in? I am up a Thimblefoot from the Funky Casuals.
Give me
Hello,
a second.
bonjour,
Um,
bonsoir.
I can't do the accent, so I'm just gonna just pretend this is like a Australian-ish accent coming out. It sounds like a woman, older, like older. Who?
I am up a Thimblefoot.
The
Member
tent-
of the Green Guard
the tent
and
flap,
Funky
the
Casuals.
tent flap parts, and you can see this late '60s gray-haired tabaxi with a lot of the hair is starting to like thin. Yeah, 68 years old.
Oh, she's so old.
They're standing there with like a tricorn hat with like with a kind of frayed-looking peacock feather, a really old-looking red leather Buccaneers coat. They're standing there. Sitting behind them, having in midst of conversation. You can see you definitely interrupted an important conversation.
Yeah.
Sat at the table is this half elf, middle aged for a half elf, so about late 90s, with like short gray hair, half moon glasses, wearing like colorful robes, and there's a little green owl perched on his shoulder. They mainly look like they've been talking to this guy who looks like he's 22, with like short white hair, very pale skin, covered in like lightning scars, pure white eyes, and he's wearing like just like a simple outfit with like a red cravat tie. Out of the entire group, he looks completely unarmed with no weapons or anything with him. Also there, you recognize Falcus. He's sitting in their tent, just... Oh, I know them. Strange.
Falcus. Hello.
And then you see in one corner is a statue of what looks like a goblin that's like slowly chipping in places and revealing like green goblinoid skin underneath the statue. And yeah, Falcus is like, sorry, everyone. Hello, Hopper.
Falcus, it is good to see you alive.
Barely,
Did not
barely
know.
made it out.
I can see that. Who are your friends? Introduce me. I would love to meet them.
Oh, this is this is Lionel's descendant, Gerhardt. Goes by Ash. Very weird. Gestures to the tabaxi. That's Eclipse of the Moon. Apparently was a pirate queen at some point. This is Ogden Boone. Colorful wizard man. This statue.
Man of leisure, seeker.
This this statue goblin was apparently someone called Noose at one point. No voice comes out. But
all right.
as soon as they brought the statue close to the, I guess here the statue started chipping. So they're trying to figure that out. What's going on there? But yeah, this is them. There were others, but they died. So
That is
my
unfortunate.
condolences.
Of course, yes. I was just going around the camp to kind of gauge everybody's abilities, see where we can place people for, optimal combat experience overall.
Oh,
perhaps the
they
greatest
these,
chances of success.
I think these ones are quite good at what they do. They stopped the Lord of the Nine Hells like 4 decades ago, so
Oh, I see.
so they're telling me. Oh, Lionel's dead, probably. Yeah.
Oh no, what a tragedy.
When
Not-
he reunited with his descendant here, realizing his family was alive, I guess the bargain he made with Gothel ended, and he returned to being an elderly man, and he stayed behind on Dawnbreak Cove to help people evacuate while the city sunk. So yes, very tragic.
Oh,
He gave
that
his life
is-
to save others.
Now I feel like an asshole.
You probably should.
Well, me and my parties, the Funky Casuals, we have fought Queen Balestria before, and as well as her Umbral Knights. So if you have any questions for us, or you just want to meet up for a luncheon, you all seemed very cool and powerful. So very intimidated seeing all your magical artifacts in this one tent. You guys seem famous, but I'm not from here, so I am just going to get out of your hair. I have a hair.
Can't do a
It is-
Scottish accent either, so I'm gonna do the next best thing. No, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. The guy called Ash just says, "Yeah, we are."
Right.
Just
Like I-
bluntly, no, like just yeah, yep.
Is he still Lord of the Nine Hells, or did I miss that?
No,
that
he's not.
changing?
You,
No.
Okay,
yeah, he got deposed.
right.
You guys seem super cool. If we all survive this, I would very much like to ask you some more questions about, traveling the world and.
The weird thing is, they said they were pirates, but apparently they didn't do much piracy. So
You are pirates.
the worst pirates I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of them.
But they didn't do any piracy, apparently. And also, apparently, no, wait, I wouldn't know that. Never mind.
The urge to just go in Eclipse's voice and go, actually, we did commit one act of piracy.
Wow,
Actually,
great pirates.
we did rob one ship of all of its spices and some of its gold.
But they were in
Also
the
blew
midst.
up one.
They were in the midst of they were talking about how they're trying to get whatever Ash hit her caught up on things he missed. Apparently, he has no memory of becoming Lord of the Nine Hells. So
I'm sorry. No, that's the wrong voice.
yeah,
I am sorry. What? You are not Lord of. You are the Ashheart?
yeah,
Oh, I see. It makes sense now.
yeah. Apparently, things got weird and doesn't remember. Anyways, I don't need to be here anymore. And he just kind of walks out of the tent. They just brought me along. So thanks for saving my life and taking me through the weird tree on your city. I'm so sorry it sunk and is gone.
I'm gonna message everyone real quick. I am standing here with apparently heroes who defeated Asmodeus like 40 years ago. Help! I am very nervous and a little bit starstruck.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Grin's just like, that was Papa. What'd you
Just
freaking out
leave.
about?
Your
Wait,
papa
doesn't
is
Grin-
here.
Didn't
Grin
Grin
No,
just-
he didn't
Grin
say
did.
that. He didn't say that. That was just what
Oh,
he
yeah.
was. Yeah, he didn't.
Is this the first time Grin has been anywhere near Papa in a long time?
He doesn't know.
Who doesn't know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
but
they
with the
are.
telepathy.
But Hopper also
isn't-
wouldn't know that's who that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
because you
so-
said
There
That's
Grin's like
news.
that's Papa.
yeah,
And then-
there is Ogden Boone and Eclipse and Ash and Nos and Valkis was also with them.
Noose got name dropped through the telepathic bond, though.
Yeah.
Those are some weird names. I think you should just leave. They sound weirdos.
I think I'm going. They have like a giant maw on this tent, and I'm like starting to like slowly walk out of the tent as I'm.
Yeah,
talking
Felgus
over the
Felgus
bond.
also leaves because he's like, well, I don't need to be there anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
And they also were pirates, so perhaps they have a ship. And then I'm just gonna move on to the next party.
All right. Fortunately, you don't get an inspiration for that.
That's better.
Grin? You're flying towards the command tent.
Yeah.
Then you just, as you're like on your way there, that's when you get pinged by Hopper, at some point.
I heard
Yes.
the name drop of news,
Yeah.
and it's just like, hmm?
So yeah, you get to the command tent, and you can see it's like guarded by like various people of various factions. Green Guard, which resemble Hopper. Then there's like unseelie, weird like Fae guarding it, like the red caps and the other things, hooded things. The Lay Guardians, which you saw work with Kenna for a bit, and then just random people. And you can hear like intense discussions going on inside the tent between numerous voices.
A bit of important information regarding the coming battles.
The guards step aside to let you in.
He goes in.
You can see Oberon kind of lounging in a chair, like not really taking it 100% seriously.
Classic.
Just fooling
Grin,
him.
as Grin walks in, he just points to him, does like one of those head nods.
You see Valestria, you see Igwilf, you see Gothel, Baba Yaga, you see a... God, that might be it.
Okay.
And
Grin's-
Aelinor, conscious and wearing attire that suits his... He's like wearing like green leather armor with like a hood, but the hood's down, and he looks much more like upright and conscious now.
Is Flutes anywhere nearby?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Cool.
They all just
Ears
turn,
open.
They all just turn to look at you.
Or did I interrupt something?
Valestria will say, yes, but what is it?
Wait, Valestria?
Or not Valestria, Titania. Yes, what is it?
Well, as you know, me and my party fought Valestria, I guess a couple of days ago to you guys, but kind of yesterday to me.
Oberon, deal with this. I'm still a little raw on what you told me about my mother. And Oberon kind of, yeah, of course. And he stands up. She's still feeling a little rough about what the intel you guys found about her mother, so...
And I imagine we're kind of... That means that Titania doesn't want to, like, hear.
No, she sits down, she doesn't want to talk.
Okay.
But the other commanders are now, like, all looking at you. All these powerful, like, archfey.
Hey, so, we just fought. We fought Valencia. And she's on,
Valencia?
Valencia.
Valenciaga!
Like the oranges?
No. Fuck. I can't remember.
Valestria.
Valestria, thank you.
We fought Valestria. How about I give you guys a breakdown of what we encountered when we fought?
Oberon's like, yeah, of course. I've been telling people the gist of all the notes, and he like shows you all the notes that you gave about Arcane's Bane and how she created it and all this other stuff. Is that we have the gist of like what Arcane's Bane does. But yeah.
Did you mention the dispelling creatures that it spawns?
Yeah,
Like
that's
they dispel magic?
yeah, it's in the notes she designed it. Like it spawned and it consumed the weave by.
And you spread that amongst the people?
Yeah, as best we can. New people keep showing up, so we're doing our best to get that information fresh and out there for everyone that comes.
Ah. So what are you guys doing about it?
Well, we have spies that are telling us that Titania was off somewhere nursing her wounds, Apparently she's significantly wounded. We don't know where she's nursing her wounds, though. But gestures to Gothel, who's just smiling. The Guardians of Fate have been able to perceive things about her, but without any real location. They just know she's very injured and tending to her wounds somewhere.
Yeah, some of us have felt stuff.
Yeah, some of us have
of-
felt stuff.
Speaking of, we felt some disturbances within the last 2 days at the tree. Do you guys have any information about that?
Apparently there was an attack on the tree. I don't know. I guess there were some people scouting out the tree for information that what's that their name? Flitz? Looks to the others? Yeah. This Flitz sent 2 of his friends there to scout the tree out a few days ago, and I guess they were attacked at the tree, but no information on that. No one's allowed to go to the tree or into the tree, so we haven't been able to commune with the guardian of the tree, so...
There's a guardian of the tree?
Yeah, multiple. But there's a primary guardian who lives at the top and oversees kind of everything to make sure the tree is always safe and well kept. But I guess the people got attacked, ambushed at the tree, but there hasn't been able to be a line of communication with the 2 that got sent there by Flitz. So we don't have much information other than that. We did try to send people out of the tree to investigate, but again, no one was really permitted into the tree. Nobody can actually approach the tree. There's some
Is there
barrier
perimeter?
thing. No, it's just a magical, invisible barrier of some sorts.
Oh, so after these people tried to get through it, now there is a thing that you can't pass through?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good, right?
Hopefully. We would like more information, but again, nobody can get to the tree to get more information. We tried to detect the magic on the barrier, and we got nothing. So, try to identify the barrier, got nothing. So whatever it is, it's potent.
Well, I mean, my party and I have been kind of spilling our guts about everything that we learned. Is there anything that you guys can tell us?
Some of the intel believes other factions are gunning for the tree as well.
That's kind of important. We actually made some pretty strict promises with some faith about not taking advantage of this moment.
What we've gathered is just minor factions of deities that survived getting sealed away 6 years ago. One is apparently this entity called Yuba-like. There's the Webmind, who everyone refers to as Lolth. Then there's... He looks towards Egwilf. Grast, one of the Demon Prince. They're all sort of having factions interested in what is happening, what is within this tree. And unfortunately, the only one who could help us with such information was sealed away 6 years ago, the Weaver. Because she planted these trees and created them.
Oh.
And
I don't think I knew that part.
I'm positive that was revealed to you, but
Oh, okay. I just have bad memory. I'm 6 years old.
that's fine, Aelinor, and yes, my mother, the Weaver, didn't really relay much of the information onto me to keep it safe. So, I am in the dark as much as everybody else on what the Elder Trees actually do. All I know is they connect the various planes of existence together, and if this tree falls, so does magic. Entirely.
Could you elaborate on that? I know that we're talking about...
No, that's all That's all I know from my mother. Like I said, I've been away for a very long time, so the details I'm not entirely certain on.
Well, if I may have the tense ears, I would like to ask a question. If, for instance, what we all use for magic is the weave, the weave is composed of a bunch of threads, is it not?
From what we know, from what the weaver said, it's all connected through. The threads that make up the weave are connected through various tethers, life force of creatures, time, reality. If this tree falls, apparently that'll all unravel and be destroyed. Any creatures of magical creation, of magical blood here, will die. We don't know the time frame of that. Some of us theorize it's instantaneously if this tree dies. But
I guess what my question is if, for instance, the weave as we know it were to just be not the weave and but a thread of the weave, like if the weave were destroyed but there is a single thread of magic,
it wouldn't be able to sustain the vast quantities of magic that suffuse this world. There would be mass die-off, magical institutions would fall, civilizations would fall, the very continent we stand on would fall from the sky as it is held aloft by magic.
in theory.
In theory, but most likely the case. If it is to be entirely wiped out, it would be far more catastrophic.
And who is talking at this point?
This would be Oberon. And Aelinor. Kind of in unison, roughly.
Yeah, I'm assuming the more eloquent parts are from Aelinor.
Yeah. But if my mother wasn't sealed away 6 years ago with the rest of the gods, then we would have been able to ask her for information, but that is not the case.
So it seems like you guys have all the information, but don't really have a plan, unless you have something that you need to tell me.
Oberon will say, well, we've thought about leaving forces here to possibly defend the tree if it is attacked. I have a feeling Arcane's Bane would be able to easily consume the magical barriers surrounding the tree, as it is the antithesis of magic in the first place. And I guess my mother-in-law designed it in such a way, from these notes that we've poured over, gone through text, discussions, not only is the creature invulnerable to all forms of weapons and magic we possess, that we know of, if it were to die, apparently there is a failsafe built into its blood, its life force, the weave that creates it as well. As we discovered, the weave inhabits all living things in some shape or form through this infection. So if the tree dies, I have a feeling everything might succumb in some way, and that includes Arcane's Bane in a way, but I'm not sure, because she plans on using it to consume the tree. But I don't know. There's a lot we don't know still. As for forming plans, we can't form plans without information, and the information we can gather we can't gather because the tree is sealed off to almost everyone.
How about this? What information do you need?
I can't really explain what we need until we know precisely what it is we need.
Okay. So I was expecting to come here to this command center and find a bunch of people who had a plan, or at least were working on a plan.
Also, it's only been 2 days, so it's been tough. Most of our efforts have been wrangling forces, and gathering intel and learning that there are other factions planning on attacking the tree if Valeria happens to fail.
Alright, let's go into that. Who are they?
I already mentioned.
You seem to have factions.
I mentioned.
Factions. What are they?
I already mentioned. We believe it to be Yuba-like, Grass,
Yeah,
and
Yubalike, Loth, Grass.
and that's it. That's the information we've
Those
gathered.
three?
That's all we've gathered so far. Again, it's only
Okay.
been a few days.
Yubalike, that's Aberration. Loth,
You wouldn't know who Yuba-like is.
Grass, that's
Demon tied to the creep.
Fiend. I know what a fiend is.
Alright. So
And we'd love
Grin
to.
is kind of gathering that these people don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They do know what they're
Like,
doing.
or just don't know, don't have any, like,
You get a sense.
they just don't know what direction to go in. Like, they're
You get a sense they haven't had a lot of time because it's been a day or two, so they haven't had time to gather enough intel and information. Because again, it's only been a day or two, and every single person on the planet right now is acting on a lack of information, yourselves included. And you get a sense they're trying to contact the two people that got into the tree a few days ago because they would have information, but that's gone nowhere, and they can't get to the tree where they were last seen. So you get a sense that's where their entire thing is hinging on right now, is talking to Druck and Dax.
Alright. So, I've got a couple of things. You need to try and find out who attacked the tree and how the defenses were brought up, and that would be useful information, correct?
It would be.
How have you tried to find them so far?
Telepathic communication via magic. Every spell we've tried fails almost instantaneously. People have tried passing through the barrier into the tree and they've been disintegrated.
Have you tried
Speaking with their allies, who also are clueless in this regard.
do you know any items that these ones might have on the person, and have you used the locate object?
Every means of divination magic has failed instantaneously to try to perceive where they are.
So do you think they're dead, or that they're inside the barrier?
It could be one or the other.
Do you think the barrier has magic negating effects?
Most likely.
Oh,
If spells can't pass through it, and divination can't pass through
and
it, most
people
likely.
can't pass through
And
it.
people can't pass through it. And they've
Interesting.
disintegrated. We had a few people disintegrate as they passed through.
That's worrisome.
And there was efforts to try to resurrect said people, and those also failed. Aquilv is going to speak for the first time in this conversation. Yes, and the connection to life and death seems to be a bit funny right now as well. All the souls I speak to on a daily basis have gone very, very quiet. And
I imagine they are fate touch then.
no, the Fey touched gestures to where the tree would be in the direction. The Fey touched souls are ferried into that tree to fuel the ley lines.
Yeah.
So the Fey touch, when they die, they go into the tree, and that seems to still be going on. Gestures to the flailing ley lines in the air still. Which Vonkar and Hopper were able to see the souls jettisoning out of the ley lines to bring the moon down. The Guardians of Fate know more than they're letting on, but they can't divulge such information for some reason. They seem magically compelled to not be able to. Or magically
wow.
forced to be unable to speak of what they know.
Hmm.
So,
Alright.
so it could be tied to them in some way, but Gothel and the others are refusing to divulge such information because apparently they cannot.
Oh. Alright. Well. Yeah, I guess just tell everyone the information that needs to be said. Seems like you guys can't really do much else.
No.
And you don't even have a direction to send us in. So I'm gonna go out. And I'm gonna see if I can't find this drug person you guys are looking for.
Best of luck. And they all go back to their conversation.
What a bunch of assholes. Yeah. Grin's gonna go out.
Make a
And-
perception check as you're leaving.
Yeah. Not gonna be great. Let's see. I should say that every time. Natural 20 for a 21.
The entire time the conversation is like going on, Gothel didn't say a word, and she was like muttering under her breath the entire time. Just
Would I have heard anything
no,
that...
she's just silently muttering, like unable to hear.
Okay.
Because passive perception ain't high enough.
Alright.
But she's clearly like muttering under her breath.
Could I tell if it was in correspondence or if it was a spell?
Unable to tell. Just weirdly muttering under her breath. And not speaking and focused just on like a single point, not really looking anywhere else.
Shit. Yeah, I can't pursue this right now because Garrett, the player, has to use the bathroom.
Alright. I guess we're gonna go to break then.
Sorry.
I'll be back here in 10 minutes.
Garrett calls it now.
Yep, we on break now, so you guys got 10 minutes. Alrighty. So, you see Gothel muttering as you leave the tent, and as you do leave the tent, this, like, hurried Duergar kind of bumps into you. And just, sorry there, friend. My apologies. And they look towards you, they see you, and they book. They just boot. They run. They throw the fucking tray of food and drinks down, and they start sprinting away. They have, like,
Lasso.
They have triangle-shaped glasses. You recognize Thramarn. Yeah, make an attack roll.
Alright.
Wonder Woman, this dude.
That's a 16 to hit.
16. Well, there's his stat block. Yeah, hits. So, do you do damage or do you pull him?
Pull him.
Alright, so he falls prone on his back, and you pull him 10 feet towards you, and it's Thramarn, the Duergar that worked for Kenna Pashon, who seemed to be involved with the Umbral Knights, and stuff didn't mesh up there, and he's laying there, lassoed with the whip, trying to, like, get out and get away.
Yeah, I'm gonna start to use the whip to do the full hog tie with, like, arms and legs, like, tied behind his back type thing. Like, alright, what's going on?
They're gonna try to stab you. And miss wildly. They're just slashing through the air wildly with a knife. Let go of me, you piece of shit! Fuck you! And just swearing, and the people... You can hear, like, commotion in the commander's tent now. Actually, no commotion in the commander's tent to all of this. Like, they're completely, blissfully unaware of what's going on.
This dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to try to wrap him up in the...
Alright.
in the whip.
Yeah, this will be contested. Yeah, contested. Contested strength, because you're trying to grapple them, basically restrain them with a
Sure,
whip.
yeah. I was gonna
Athletics or strength?
You're initiating, so I think it's strength.
Okay.
Ooh, natural 7 for a 10 total.
I did 2 natural 20s in a row. Man, alright. I guess the...
Alright?
The universe wants you to win
He's
tonight.
completely
I don't know.
restrained, he can't move, and just, like, laying there, like, struggling in the
Great.
rope, and still the commanders in the tent aren't budging, but there's, like, people from nearby, like, tents, like, poking their heads out from the commotion.
Cool. I'm taking the... if they haven't already been removed, I'm gonna take away his slashing weapons.
Yeah, sure. The only one who steps out of the command tent is Aelinor. Like, he pokes his head out, confused as well, but none of the other commanders do.
Cool. Hey, what's going on?
Spits in your face.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Zone of Truth.
Alright, Aelinor would be in the radius too, but... Yeah, fuck it. You can tell he succeeds. As for this guy, what's the save on it? Wisdom?
Charisma.
Charisma. Does it give a condition? I can't remember. Zone of Truth gives a condition.
No.
No? Okay, cool. So... 3. 2 plus 1.
Yeah.
So you see their eyes kind of, like, glaze over. Yeah. They don't have to answer truthfully, but they can't willingly tell a lie.
So what brings you to this place?
Doesn't answer.
Grin will just say,
Hey guys, I've kind of begged Thermarn here.
You all would remember who that is.
Yeah, tied him up. I've got a Zone of Truth on him. I'm at their command intent, or whatchamacallit. Gotha was looking kind of shitty. If one of you can kind of figure out what's going on there, whichever of you has the strongest connection to Gotha, maybe talk to her. But yeah.
And for context, for people who might not remember who Thramarn is, the Duergar assistant of Kenna Pashon, who was the only person that certain members of the party told where they were going, and that's and they were ambushed by Umbral Knights, and this was the only person they told, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So most likely working for the Umbral Court.
Hopper just says, I am on my way.
And yeah, you're all relatively close by because all the major tents are right by the command tent. So you're all basically, at most, like 60 feet away.
I imagine Hopper was like chatting with like a low-level party, gets the message, is like, I'm on my way, and then sprints away towards the command tents.
Yeah. Grin's gonna start just dragging this guy into the command tent.
Okay. Aelinor looks confused this whole situation. Who the fuck is this? And then you drag him into the command tent, and the other commanders look and then go back to what they're doing. Like they're not paying any attention. Gothel is still silently muttering under her breath.
Hey!
Grin's gonna go ahead and use Emissary of Peace.
Okay.
And just be like, hello?
I don't know what that does.
It's just
+5, right?
+5 to persuasion checks.
Who are you trying to do this to? Or just to everybody in general?
It's just on me. It's just a bonus to me.
Yeah, but who are you talking to right now?
The rune.
Okay. Oberon was, we're just trying to figure out plans since you seem so pissed off that we didn't have any.
Yeah, well, I come bearing gifts. This is Thermarin.
Okay.
They were assistant to Pashan, and let me just say, they were there when Pashan started acting differently, which means that they were controlled by Aelinor, which means they were controlled by Velestria. So, this person knows what's gonna go on. And I think you guys should be a part of figuring out what this guy knows.
They look at him, they give him like a quick cursory glance. Oberon's like, he doesn't look like he'd have any information that we need though.
Oh, you can tell it by a glance, huh? Jeez. You guys have been sitting so high on your thrones, you can't see what's right in front of you. People that are walking on the ground, the dirt, see just as much as any of you sitting on your thrones, okay? They got certain truth.
Also now while you're in here and dealing all this, you saw Thermarn's tray of food and drink get knocked over that he was bringing into this tent. Everybody where they're sitting, except for Gothel and Aelinor, have the same kind of goblets and finished plates of food where they're sitting, the same kind of food and drink goblets that Thermarn was bringing into the tent. And the only one who's like actively like came out to see what was going on and is actively like standing beside you during this whole thing is Aelinor, while Gothel continues just to like mutter silently. And the commanders look at him again and they give him like another, like, okay, like they're not invested in Thermarn at all.
Okay, so
it's like
what I just heard was that this guy was planning to poison everybody except for Gothel and Aelinor.
It looks like they have, like, where they were sitting, they have full plates of food and their goblets are full. It looks like they just weren't eating. Those two weren't eating or drinking, but everybody else did.
Or he already did.
And it probably around this point that the others show up because they were only like 60 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you all show up to see like Grin having like hogtied Thermarn. Aelinor standing beside Grin. The other council members don't seem to be giving Thermarn like a second glance. Gothel is like muttering to herself quietly. And yeah, Aelenor's like standing beside Grin and kind of like, he also seems he's looking at the others like, okay, wait, what? Like, Aelenor will. You always been presenting information. This is what you've been wanting. And they just look at Thermarn and then they go back to their talking, like completely ignoring.
Grin's gonna see Vonkar and kind of gesture to Gothel.
Also, Hopper, what's going on? You've been trying to speak for a bit.
Yeah. I think coming in and seeing Thermarn on the ground, do we still have the pieces of the dolls?
No,
that
those were like dispelled. Those were dispelled. They were dispelled, and I think they were probably destroyed.
Yeah.
I don't imagine anyone kept them, and if they did, Joe would still have theirs on them somewhere.
Yeah, but we don't know where Doe is at the moment. I'm gonna approach Oberon.
Yeah.
My king, if I may. There is reason to believe that this dwarf planted seeking charmed items on our persons to track us down and attempt to attack us while Aelenor was possessed by Velestria. His Umbral Knights tracked us down on the road to Port Craig after we told him, and only him, where we were going.
Not possible. We don't know of any Light Guardians working for the Umbral Court.
You are so quick to deny, even after we have provided proof that Velestria is the one behind all of this?
As you continue to press with Grin, you're also pressing with Aelenor pressing. You see Oberon kind of twitch a little bit, and the other commanders twitch a little bit too, echoing a similar symptom of the people in the City of Embers when they were under control by some sort of magical effect.
Oh no.
The same one where the captain of the guard slit his own throat when he was pressed too hard about things. Yeah. And Gothel is like muttering just to herself quietly still.
Is Aelenor looking okay?
Him and Gothel are the only ones that haven't touched any of the food or drink at the table. And he's standing beside Grin, questioning them as well. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Good question.
Yeah.
Did all of us show up?
Yeah, you guys were all like 60 feet away. Like,
yeah, okay. I assume that was big enough to like pull me away from children's stories.
Yeah.
With the food there still on the ground, we all kind of.
There's also like a tray. There's like a tray laying on the ground of like food and drink that's spilled. It's like it's like a type of like elderberry wine that's spilled.
Okay.
And like
Antyr's.
and like what looks like roasted meats and stuff.
Antyr is here, right?
Yeah.
Too.
I assume so.
Vonkar, while they're talking to everybody else, Vonkar is going to lean over to Antyr and gesture at the food that has been spilled on the ground, and just be like, whisper over, "Could you do some detect magic on that real quick?"
I'm the worst person to ask that question to, because I don't have that spell.
Do you have Identify?
I do.
They do.
Hopper does.
Antyr is going to, before, I was thinking the same thing along that same line. I don't know how much this is going to work, but it's...
Why don't you want me to just try it? And then he just picks him up and puts it in his mouth.
No!
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I have advantage against poisoning.
This isn't poison.
It's not poison.
What?
It's enchanted food.
Make a... Oh...
That's just enchanted. That's a wisdom save, my guy.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
I've asked, is it a charm condition or a stun?
It's a your entire mind is erased condition, and you become a feeble kind of husk essentially. So probably a charm in a way.
I thought it was poison.
Nope.
I misunderstood.
How far are they away from me?
Probably like side by side. So you have +5 to this wisdom save.
There we go.
Okay. Great.
You're a monk.
On top of whatever your wisdom bonus is.
And it is you said it's not a poison?
Nope, this is a spell.
Alright. So, wisdom save.
I'll read the effects of the spell just so you know what goes on.
Okay, and then +5. So that is a 27.
Cool. Your mind is not
Terrible
erased
time
and
for
you're
Justin to freeze.
I didn't
Oh
know.
no.
Your mind is not erased and you don't fall under the control of somebody else.
You froze for that entire description.
Yeah.
Great.
Sorry.
It was like you were just like, let me read the spell description to you.
End stream. Stick to recording.
Okay.
Your mind is not erased, and you do not basically get a. This isn't the end of Torger from the campaign. Essentially, was what that would have been. But you eat the food and you don't sense anything weird about it. You feel like a little tingle, and that's about it.
It's got tingles. I say as I look at them. This food's got tingles.
As Torger eats some of it, you can see Thermarn looks at Torger with like anticipation, like, "Oh, here we go," but nothing happens.
Is Zone of Truth still active?
Probably
How long
Let's
does it
go.
last? 10 minutes?
something like that.
Hey, Thermarn, what's going on with the food?
Doesn't
Yeah,
answer.
what's
No,
he
right,
thinking?
he's not.
Yeah, I think during this, Grin kind of uncharacteristically loses his patience and just kicks Thermarn right in the teeth.
Okay. Make an attack roll. Antyr, what are you doing? Because I think you said you were trying to say something that
Yeah.
don't happen.
Antyr is trying to focus on the weave as it pulls together and pulls apart and find the magic that may be ingrained in them, and it's gonna focus on who would be a fucking voice of reason in this group. It's Oberon,
Titania,
Titania.
Igwilf, Gothel, who is also not eating the food or drinking and is muttering under her breath. Can't make out what she's saying though. And then Aelinor is standing up beside like you all, like
I
questioning.
go for a more neutral, so Antyr's gonna focus on.
Oh, and Baba
Igwil.
Baba Yaga's here as well, and she also is dismissive.
Oh my
and...
fucking good. Well, I don't like her.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna focus on What is it? Igwil?
Igwilf.
And
Or Tasha.
attempt
Her real
to
name's, Tasha.
attempt to unravel the magic enchantment. So I'm gonna do what's it called again? Dispel magic.
Dispel magic? Okay.
But Antyr's version is unravel.
Okay. Roll a d20 on your spell modifier. You need a 19 or higher.
Ooh, balls. Okay. I got this, y'all. I got this.
Also, if you have Identify prepared, you could identify the food on the ground, and that would help you out as well.
Yeah. I'll do that in a second. I mean,
Okay.
everybody seems like in a panic at the moment. Bryn's losing their cool. I'm gonna roll really well.
Yep.
I'm gonna use my lucky.
Sure.
I'm gonna use my fucking second lucky.
Oh no.
Nope, that's it. That's all I can do.
Okay.
14.
It just fizzles.
Shit.
Grin, you kick.
Alright.
You kick Thermarn in the teeth. What did you get? Advantage on the attack roll.
Advantage?
Yeah, because they're prone and restrained.
With advantage, 16.
Oh yeah. And then it's your
Four
whatever.
damage.
Yeah. A tooth just kind of goes scattering out. A couple teeth go scattering out. They just
What do you
groan.
have to gain?
They're just not speaking.
Alright,
Yeah.
give me a second. And the book flies open and they begin to cast identify or
Okay.
discern.
Torger tries to, walks over and looks at Hopper, who had tried torturing someone earlier, and then looks at Grin, like way back in near the beginning of the campaign, and looks at Grin.
You guys needs helps torturing this guy?
I just try to. There's a zone of truth on him, Torger. We just gotta get him to say something.
Also, scattering out with the teeth would be what looks like a tiny little like spherical like glass, not glass, but like a little spherical like dark purple stone, like a bead, a tiny little bead that also got sent out of his mouth when you kicked him.
Oh, you kicks him so hard you turns him into a pinata.
Antyr, you cast Identify. The spell is called Enthrallment of the Void. This powerful enchantment spell allows you to erase a creature's personality, emotions, and free will, transforming them into a mindless being that can be telepathically commanded at will.
Oh my god.
When you cast this spell, choose a creature that you can see. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target's personality and emotions are wiped away, and they become an empty vessel devoid of self-awareness and independent thought. They fall under the complete control of the caster. So this would happen to Torger if he failed.
So their soul gets sucked out of their bodies and they become a puppet.
For the duration of the spell, you can telepathically issue commands to the affected creature, which it must obey without question or hesitation. The telepathic connection remains active until dispelled, and you can telepathically issue these commands from anywhere and do not need to be on the same plane of existence to do so. If the spell is dispelled, the creature's personality and emotions are still gone, and the creature is still devoid of self-awareness and independent thought. Their mind can be restored only if the spell has been dispelled, and then greater restoration has been cast on them.
Fuck.
Can I ask a question for the
Double
cheap
soul slot.
Yeah.
In that description, you said creature you can see. So when this went down, the person who cast it could see them,
Most likely.
and then it continues.
Or they infuse it in that's a spell. They most likely would have infused the spell into like an object. Like you can infuse objects with magic. That's most likely what happened here.
With the food and the drink, probably.
Yeah.
So double downing
Yeah.
anything.
And
Essentially, we need to
Replaces
figure
the
out-
line of sight to consumption.
yeah,
We
and
need to figure out where this guy
There is a-
came from.
you
in
all-
order to
you all would
this
have
cast.
yeah, you all would have seen canteen tents around the place too. So it's most likely stemming from one of the canteen tents. But Andrew,
Isn't
you
good.
learn that from the spell. But yeah, when Grin kicks him in the head, a little like dark purple bead flies out and scatters, and like kind of like rolls along the dirt floor. And you can see the Duergar like Thorn looking towards the bead and like trying to like shuffle his way towards it, but he doesn't.
Oh, I'm
move.
going to get that.
Yeah, you go pick it up. It's like a tiny little bead that you can
Bring it
like,
here.
It's,
Yep.
it's moist like he.
Book flies back open.
It's moist like he was concealing it under his tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a cyanide pill, bitch.
Yeah,
I know it. I can feel it.
I'm gonna give that over to Antyr, and then hey, Hop. Oh, never mind.
Grin.
Ask Hopper a question.
Hopper
Grin.
goes peas.
Grin, looking at the bead, when it bounced a little bit, because you've seen familiar thing, when it bounced, it flared inside a little bit. That bead is concentrated acrid that he was keeping in his mouth.
Oh,
Oh fuck!
And when it
off.
hit the floor, I rolled behind the scenes and it almost exploded.
wolf.
Oh my god!
So okay, none of
Thanks
us
for
have.
look out, that's accurate.
What? Antyr
Accurate.
almost drops it, but holds it steady.
Like
Careful.
very, very it looks like it's like when you're holding it, you can feel just how much it's pulsing with like potential. This is far more explosive than any source of acrid.
Catalytic.
It's
Yeah.
like someone would have sent basically like set off like a hydrogen bomb inside of this tent.
Antyr's gonna hold it.
Okay.
I'm gonna, in the absence of Hopper, for the moment, Vonkar is gonna go. But we got the description. Vonkar is gonna go over to. Is actually gonna leave the tent
Yeah.
and is gonna go find that tent with the mouth on it
Okay.
and look for someone who was I believe described as a very powerful wizard.
Yeah, you see inside. You can see like you walk up to the tent, and there people are still like in the midst of conversation. You can see they're also in the process of just starting to eat. They haven't done it yet.
Oh, don't eat that!
They all look at you confused.
The enemy has enchanted the food with a horrible thing that rips out your soul and removes your emotions and everything. Already did it on some of the leadership. I point at Ogden. I'm assuming you're the wizard.
Yeah. I'm not doing
We
any
need
other
somebody-
voices because I've got too much going on.
Yeah. We need somebody to dispel the spell before it kills some of the leadership, and then we need to find someone capable of restoring them. So I don't know if there's a cleric or a druid or somebody around that can do that.
They gesture to like this statue of a goblin that's slowly chipping away. That's
Yeah,
our
yeah.
healer. Yeah.
Yeah, you give me. We need a little more
question.
time for Noosey to get Lucy, but
Also, I would save the I would save the voices just so you all know. Just keep the voices in your mind for some point.
Okay. Vonkar is gonna look at Noose in the stone. He's gonna ask Ogden, "Is that a curse?"
No.
Damn. That would have been a quick fix.
And it's like the stone is like slowly chipping away. You can see like green goblinoid skin underneath, and like tousled blondish hair.
So he's starting to come out.
They nod. Yeah, you see
Is there any way we could speed that up?
the white-haired guy with lightning scars all over his body. He's like, yeah, I tried like punching the stone off.
Great, sounds helpful. Mr. Wizard, is there any way we could speed that up?
It's got a fleck off like a summer sunburn.
Yeah, along those lines.
I
Just
love
time.
it.
But yeah, Ogden will stand
Okay.
up and
Well,
come
Mr.
with you.
Boone, would you mind keeping these people from dying first?
No food, only good berries.
Yeah, and I'm
But,
gonna run around and start yelling, "Don't eat the food," to everybody.
All right, you start running around telling everyone not to eat the food. You can see a good amount of people are like chowing.
Yeah, Torger, would have tried to do the same, like, because I can cover more ground with 45 movement speed of just
Yep.
like, the food's bad. You don't eat the food.
Yeah, some people are like stopping eating. Not a lot of people are eating yet. The food is just getting like dispersed right at this moment.
Going around like slapping food out of people's as much as I can, like.
Sure, man.
Speedy monk with multiple attacks.
Hey,
Bing, bing,
Legs.
bing, bing, bing.
Hey, Legs.
Sounds like a
Blows.
drum solo with the cymbals.
Roll me 2d20s and add 6 to both, and let me know what each are. Let me know what the highest one is.
Drum major crashing through a percussion section.
Yeah.
21.
21. Okay. Samuel.
Yes.
Oh no.
Give me 1 second. I gotta see something here.
That's
Okay.
not. Short for.
Roll me a d20 and add. What would
Me?
the modifier be on a 15?
On a 15?
Yeah.
Like a stat bonus of 15?
Yeah.
Plus 2?
Roll me a d20 and add 2.
Okay. Where is my D20? Let's add 2. 4 plus 2 is 6.
Okay. That makes that easy.
Okay.
That was
Caleb,
easy.
roll me a d20 and add 0.
Oh no, is this intelligence thing?
No, it's. Never mind.
D20 and,
Plus 0.
and roll. No zeros.
Oh, yeah, actually, it'd be a +1.
Oh, 6 then.
Noted.
Twins.
Again! I'm twinning with everybody.
I think that's all for that. But yeah, Ogden starts following Vonkar back towards the command tent. The others are gonna follow as well, I guess, because Ash is gonna scoop up the statue of Noose and just carry it on his shoulder. Like, we don't want to leave this guy alone. So the crew of the Void Maw that are still alive in here also follow. And yeah,
Okay, so Acrobead.
yeah,
Antyr is going to focus. The eyes are going to flare as the weave kind of
Also, I'm
flares
saying,
up a bit.
I'm in my head. This is all going very slow motion, so this all happens at once, and it's not just like chaos. And
Oh, yeah,
people
yeah.
are like, yeah. This is all very like.
Gonna do well. This is gonna take 10 minutes, so this will be less slow motion. Because I do Chronal Recall on the bead.
Okay, cool. So while everything's kind of going on, you're focusing on that. The Hopper, you're talking to Oberon. Oberon stabs himself.
yeah.
Oberon stabs himself in the stomach with a dagger he had on his person. Lightning quick, just not lethal,
Fuck.
but like lightning's quick and stabs
Ow.
himself because you're pressing.
Fuck me.
Gothel looks like she's muttering a little quicker now. Now that happened, she seems to clock it and she's muttering much quicker.
Did I forget? Did Gothel eat?
No, her and Eleanor
Okay,
are the only
she
ones
didn't
who
eat,
didn't.
okay.
Yeah, Baba Yaga did,
Okay.
but Gothel and Eleanor are the only
Can
ones
I
who did.
try to figure out like what language she's speaking?
It's a form of Sylvan, but it's like ancient Sylvan
Ancient?
where you don't know
Okay.
the.
Are there any
don't really
words
know.
that I might catch?
Give me a perception check.
Shoot, I closed my character sheet.
Oh, that sucks. You fail.
Oh no! Just auto fail when you close your character sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means you've retired
Like how
your
back in the
character.
day when I used to like delete encounters by accident, like, oh, that encounter's done.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's not great. 12.
No idea. But you can like you can hear like you can hear like the sort of like similar sounding syllables, but that's about it. It's definitely the form of like Sylvan.
You're hearing Welsh.
Yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
it's like really hard to understand Welsh.
Am
Which is-
I able to approach her and try to calm her down? I know I haven't. We haven't had the best.
She looks at you with her eyes as to if like don't get close, like back off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think she's casting a spell.
Okay.
And it's taking her like a while. So she's just like she doesn't move. She just looks at you with like intensity, and you get a sense with your passive insight. Back off.
She's not.
Yeah.
She's not nervously muttering to herself. She's doing something. Over
Yeah,
there.
she's
Okay.
clearly doing
Ooh.
something.
Then I'm going to.
Attack.
Concentration on the broom.
But
Then
yeah,
I'm just gonna try to keep everyone else from harming
Okay.
themselves. Just try to keep everyone calm and collective. I'm gonna
Thermar's-
do a cure wounds
cool.
on Oberon. Take the dagger away from him.
okay.
we are going to
You go to
deceive the
you go to
needs.
take the dagger away from him.
Oh fuck.
Let me pull
This
up
is not what I
Oberon's
had to-
character sheet. So you go to like grab the dagger away from him, and he lets you take the dagger away. And with a flick of his wrist, his long sword of sharpness comes out
Ooh.
for a 21 to hit.
21. I'll take that hit. I could have cast shield, but I'm
Okay.
gonna take that.
13 slashing damage just as it like rakes up across your arm, and then he kind of just goes back to like focusing on the conversation that they're all having. But now the conversation they're having this conversation, it's just kind of now it's just like nonsensical nothingness. Now they're just like just saying random words in Sylvan that just don't make any sense. Now that this whole scene is like going on, and
Yeah.
on those that have eaten and drank the food, they starting to like bleed a little bit out of like the eyes and nose. Antyr, you're still focusing on the bead. Yeah, Torger, what's up?
I was gonna ask. Sorry, DM question.
Yeah.
Have we gotten through the 10 minutes? Are we still in the middle? Because I
We're
would consider.
probably still in the middle.
Great. Thank you. No, I was actually going to consider the 10 minutes probably what I spent running from food vendor to food vendor, slapping food and saying test it before you eat it. Okay,
Perfect.
cool. It's
Yep.
still there. I
Yeah.
want to come back and help,
Yeah,
but
it's a town-sized encampment, so it's like a lot of people you're helping out with. Vonkar's also doing the same. And then Vonkar kind of came back with a bunch of people.
Cool.
Lex, what I made you roll for that thing? Never mind. A certain little gnome is immune to being charmed.
Oh.
Yeah, he is. Now he is.
believe also the half elf background relieves charm from.
Oh,
I don't think it's your elf.
it wasn't
I think
your
it's your
elf.
other thing.
Thank you.
Oh no.
Yeah. Vonkar saved the elf just before he could start eating. So, yeah. Okay. That's happening.
Shit.
We haven't heard from Grin in a second. You kicked this guy's teeth out, and then that little bead of acrid went flying out. Antyr picked it up. You recognize it. Antyr's like focusing on it. Everything's kind of moving in slow motion. Hopper, you just see Hopper like slowly get like you see Oberon slowly stab himself and then slash at Hopper when Hopper tries to like grab his weapons from him.
Grin just goes up to the guy. Just goes,
Thermarn or Oberon or
Thermarn.
okay, yeah, he's still on the ground, like trying to like inchworm his way towards the bead that is now being picked,
'Cause-
in the process of being picked up by Antyr. And
Yeah,
Focus.
Thermarn so far doesn't seem like someone who's like been manipulated in the
No.
magical sense.
no, he's very aware, and he's not speaking a single
And-
word.
And Grin like takes a breath and goes, I want to understand. What are you trying to do?
He can answer that. I think he'll answer that. I think. Can't tell a deliberate lie. Make the world a better place.
By giving the magic to Velestria, or by getting rid of the magic entirely?
Both are one and the same, and she will make the world a better place, our reality a better place.
As Grin hears that, he's gonna just broadcast that to everyone
Okay, so you all get that.
in the network.
You all get that just as, because Vonkar wasn't too far away. Vonkar arrives, slow motion with Ogden Boone, who Grin would know from stories, I'll say. Ash, who you'd know from stories as the Ash Heart, who is now here, mortal man once again, 60 some odd years old, but with the body of a 22-year-old. And then you see Papa, statue form, being carried by Ash, and the statue's like slowly starting to chip away. And they all enter the tent randomly too. And then Ogden comes in, and you see Gothel just wide-eyed, like, what the fuck are all these people doing here? I'm trying to do something.
Can I try to look at Grin? Like, does he need to go? Something's going to happen. I don't know what, but we need to get out of here.
What do
Or
you
at
mean?
least
Point.
not cause distractions.
I'm just gonna point to Ogden at Oberyn, the one with the stab wound, as a
Yeah.
good first target.
Okay. Nope. It just fizzles
Isn't it-
too.
He doesn't have a 9th level spell slot.
It fizzles as well. And you can see Gothel's eyes just getting wider and wider, like she's looking at her like, what the fuck is going on? She's like clearly like now physically like
Yeah,
insinuating
Yeah,
with her
after-
eyes.
after someone just pointed out the Gothel stuff, Grin is now getting into defensive position around Gothel and is going to try to give them time.
Okay.
I would like to walk over to Auntie Gothel
Yeah.
and stick my ear up to her hump,
Yeah.
which is her husband,
Yeah.
and whisper to her husband, whose mouth is free to talk.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Make a make a stealth check,
Mark.
just with using
Okay.
your Constitution because you're whispering.
Interesting. Okay.
Ooh, that's fun. That's
Do I still have
actually kind of
disadvantage for the
fun.
armor then?
No, because you're whispering.
Okay. So then just roll and add Constitution. All
Yeah,
right.
why not?
Whoop, 18.
18. Okay, cool. The hump will also try to whisper back.
All right.
Globosis. Oh fuck. Okay. Beating all the passive perception of all these archfey. Nuts.
Yeah.
She's dispelling the fucking controlling enchantment on the commanders. She's fixing it.
Everybody, there's something, did I tell you I was telling everybody children's stories outside? I think we should go out and, I should tell you more about that outside the tent.
Oberon will be like, yeah, you probably should. After just slashing Hopper. And then just going
Yeah,
back
I think
to
we
the
should. I
conversation.
think he's right. He's right. There's nothing we can do in here. Let's go.
Torger is still zooming around, knocking
Cool.
food out of the hands of people.
Just wanted to know.
You're, I will say, you're contributing, as the nicest way possible. You're contributing far more than what's going on in the command tent, in a way.
Also,
Does Auntie go the who's already in the process of fixing it?
There
And
are
I'll-
people. I'm trying to get these people out of here. God damn.
Torger's
I'll tell
saving.
you-
You're saving a lot of people right now, especially with your speed. You're like, and then
Oh, and
the
but
people.
you better believe that if there's a shadow, I'm bamfing
Oh, there's
60
tons.
feet to cover
And
the
then
distance.
the people
I'm singing-
you, the,
I'm singing the wrong theme song the whole time.
the people you, the people you befriended earlier, the ogre and his companions, they're helping you.
Hey.
Yes.
But by mainly him launching his companions at people who are trying to eat.
Yeah, you got to launch them at the food.
Can't aim that fine with that.
Like angry little halflings and kobold just smacking food
But
out of their mouth.
as you all are starting to leave the tent, Antyr, you finish casting. What was it again? It's been a hot minute.
Chrono Recall?
Chrono Recall. Yeah. You see this Thermarn. You see him speaking with this pale dwarf with pure white eyes and covered in tattoos, bald, in this like massive spire over a lake of lava inside like an underground city. You wouldn't recognize any of it, but you would see like the city is lit by like lava throughout the city, through like rivers of lava through the city, and then there's like lamps filled with lava. You see there's like a highway above the main thoroughfare of the city, and people are driving around on like what look like big old snowmobile tanks. And this Thermarn is talking to this dwarf, and he's just like, "Oh, I need a bunch of acrid for like smithing purposes. I'm making a lot of weapons for like a coming war that's happening." He describes the war that's going to be happening in great detail, and the pale dwarf he's talking to seems to acknowledge the conflict. And then there's like Thermarn waves his hand a little bit, and you can see the dwarf he's talking to kind of is compelled for a second, and sells him like hundreds and hundreds of barrels of acrid, which he uses for his furnace to fuel his furnace that he smelts with. And then it cuts to like this Chrono Recall is like a year ago, and then it cuts to like roughly around the time when you were all in the City of Embers and speaking to Thermarn for the first time. It's roughly around that time, and it sees him this has been with Thermarn the entire time, and it shows him speaking with Hopper and I believe it was Doe, yeah. Mm-hmm. And while they're walking away, he seems to he's like talking to them and showing them things, and he subtly places two things on their person and conceals them. Which you see there, they were the pocket dolls. And while they're done, he goes beneath the city into the undercity that's been sealed off the entire time, and that the guards were possessed and they weren't letting you all down there, blah blah blah. He's down there, and you can see it has been mined. All of the cathadium that's been down there has been melted down and kind of sent away. Like, it's all gone. You can see where veins of it were like growing out of the ground, and you can sense that's why the city was flying. That's what the theory was, is because all this cathadium was like built into the crust. And you can see him commanding the Lake Guardians to remove it all and ship it elsewhere. And it shows him moving through this undercity, and the undercity of the City of Embers has become a massive acrid factory, basically, where they are just making it constantly and using it and sending like concentrated vessels of that same bead just worldwide to like be placed to be used in like nefarious means. And then it fast forwards to him in one of the canteen tents in this encampment, and he places it under his tongue, sighs, and then he begins like placing weird little like purple pulsing cathadium like dust into the food and the stew. And basically using that as a spell focus, because he can't afford to either use a spell or cast it at that level, and it appears he's using the cathadium dust to kind of bolster his abilities for a second before he begins dispersing the stew amongst the camp. So basically, it looks like the Umbral Knights are using the Undercity of the City of Embers as their main base of operations through their like manufacturing of things. And oh yeah, when the Mythal went up that Kenna put up, there was a portal down there that they all kind of went through, and you all discovered that portals were the way to get through the Mythal, and you told Thermarn that because you appeared in that one building he was in, and he relayed that
Fucking
information.
Thermarn.
He relayed that information to the Umbra Court, so they've been
Oh.
still in the City of Embers, working diligently all this time. And a certain elf queen is tending to her wounds in the Undercity. With no Arcane's Bane, though, visible anywhere. But she is tending to her wounds in the Undercity. And then it flashes back to the current moment. Good fucking call.
Everyone goes right into the brain as Antyr looks around, finally realizing and registering that no one else is in the fucking tent.
And this, yeah.
Except him, or them, Antigothel, Grin.
Grin who's defending Gothel, looks like, and then
Yeah.
Vonkar is like urging the others out of here. So just Hopper to like leave the tent. You can hear people like running around the campsite saying, "Don't eat the food! Don't eat the food! Don't eat the food!" A very familiar voice yelling it.
So Brain Link, and Antyr is going to relay the information, the pertinent information. I don't think going so far back as the big blip of where the acrid may have come from. It's not really the concern, but where the acrid is currently being manufactured.
Yeah.
And then especially focusing on the thought and the knowledge now that...
Do you also relay the place where he was getting it, like buying it in vast quantities from? Or no?
No, because
Okay.
I think Antyr feels like that would implicate someone who probably doesn't need
clearly,
to be.
It clearly looked like they were like momentarily like.
Oh, okay,
magically.
that's right. So yeah, would relay that then if that's the vibe that I was getting. Okay, because you did say suggestion, so it's going to relay that information quickly to everyone that's connected to the mind link.
Okay.
And then registering that Torger's voice is calling for people not to eat and drink. Antyr is going to insist that Torger goes to the platinum guards, the platinum recruits.
They would have been like a few of the ones that were like,
Okay.
yeah, they're fine.
Find a druid, get some good berries.
But Antyr's going to kind of get up, still holding the beat of acrid, and just kind of slowly eases out of the room.
Okay.
Out
As
of the
you
tent.
ease out of the tent, you're standing outside of the tent with the others now. So Hopper and Vonkar. Grin is still defending Gothel. Gothel is still muttering to herself. The gathered commanders are still having just a nonsensical conversation that makes no sense. They're not really talking. They're not really sharing any information. They're just not silently, but they're like saying cabbage, potato, just like random words in Sylvan at this point.
Speaking Lauren Epsom.
Yeah, and then Grin, as you're then Ash and Ogden and everyone else that was pulled here leaves the tent. Grin, you feel like this pulse of like intense magic burst like from behind you. A soothing warmth kind of pushes through you from behind, and then everyone sees this like rippling wave like push through the entire encampment, like someone just like a titan of some sort, like let out a massive breath, and it caused all of the tents to like bellow and dust to swirl up. Grin, the other commanders seem to like shake their heads and snap out of some sort of trance, and they seem completely themselves. And you hear what sounds like dust hitting sand behind you.
Dust hitting sand?
Like sand being spilled on top of sand, like something fine and powdery collapsing into sand behind you, where you're like,
You know, he'll kind of take note of everything in front of him.
yeah, they're all the others
quickly
are
look behind.
wherever Gothel was sat is now just like a pile of like dust and essence resting on the chair and in the sand. Like she basically like used all of her like life force into that spell to break the enchantment on everybody in this encampment. And you defending her is what helped it happen. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have. It would have been bad.
Grin's gonna telepathically communicate Gothel sacrifice to everyone?
Unfortunately, that also means a certain bargain that Vonkar made is now completely.
We are just getting these little bargains snapped away from
Using
us.
them and then losing them.
Losing them.
Yeah, no.
Well, we didn't even use the first bargain.
We did. I saved Grin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
And the second bargain saved
Vonkar and
you.
Hopper. Yeah.
So at least
mean,
one
like-
person was saved.
But yeah, Grin,
Listen,
you
The ROI is acceptable.
Yeah.
yeah, Grin, you look back and wherever Gothel was, it's just like a pile of like mint green glittering dust. Before the dust also before the dust seems to like fade out and just disappear.
All of you.
They all seem to be like snapping out of like some sort of trance and like knocking their food and drinks out of the way.
He'll clap.
Huh. All of you.
They all look at you.
Eyes up.
Thermarn is still like struggling on the ground.
He'll put a foot on his back
Yeah.
while like holding up.
Look at Gothel's sacrifice. They brought you back.
And it those of you outside, as soon as Grin relays the information of Gothel vanishing, the bear you see like a shimmer around the everlasting arbor in the distance. Just a shimmer of light, like looks like something disappearing around the tree.
Oh, fuck.
And you can assume maybe that she was the one who was keeping the protective barrier up around the tree to make sure nobody got in to fuck with it. And now it's kind of just that also fades. And the reason why she wasn't revealing any of her information was because she knew something was going on with the food and drink, and she was trying to stop it. But yeah, they all look towards Grin, and they look towards Thermarn on the ground. Oberon will say, who's that?
Grin will reiterate in the most patient way he knows as possible right now.
They were he's like he has to go through the. They were enchanted.
Yeah.
They were. That wasn't them. This is. Okay.
This Oberon stands up and approaches, looks down at Thermarn, snaps his fingers, and you can see vines snake their way up through the sand and wrap around his neck, wrists, and ankles. So further restraining him while further restraining him with the whip, and like kind of hoist him up in the air, upside down.
I'm gonna take the whip away back from during that, if that's a possibility.
Yeah. And then two more vines kind of pierce into Thermarn's temples and begin to push their way in, like through and like breaking through the very thin portion of skull right here.
Oh.
And they just snake their way in. Looks towards Grin. This is your captive. Feel free to ask your questions now.
Okay, this is important.
Yeah, what's
So
up?
I'm gonna have to.
I wanted to ask. So, has Torger completed his 10 minutes?
Yeah, and then everyone, as this kind of like blast goes out, you see the people who are eating the food that seem kind of trance-like, they also kind of snap out of it.
Cool. I would like to get back to the person who is trying to torture and get back and say.
So by the time you get back to the tent would be the time that Thermarn's being hoisted up by the vines and like held upside down, and the vines are like pushing into his skull. You all outside the tent are also very privy to what is going on inside the tent too, because the flaps are like open. You see like this Duergar now getting like upside down, wedgied basically.
And because of the important information, Grin is broadcasting essentially his interpretation of what he's seeing in front of him to the rest of the team.
But yeah,
We're
you're
probably like right outside.
you're all
the
right
tent. We can
outside.
just
So
come back
you
in,
all can all
at
like
this point.
you all can ask your own questions and share the situation. Like everyone's here. Ogden and Ash and Eclipse are gonna go back to their tent, and they're also gonna go around and make sure people are okay, because they're like, okay, they got this handled. We'll do our thing.
Can I ask what me and Caleb rolled for, by the way?
Wisdom saving throws to see if you ate the food and if Ven didn't get possessed, and if
Ven's here.
Yeah, not Henry. Henry's busy saving a town from that he controls.
But Ven's here.
Yeah,
Wait, is Ricky here?
No.
Okay.
Then
Ricky has
I think
to,
you mean-
Ricky has to
I
run a
think you
town and save-
mean-
or Argent, yeah. But he has to stay behind to do that. And Caleb was rolling for.
Oh, okay,
Thorn.
so Argent and Henry are both back in their respective
yeah,
domains.
they mentioned
Had 3 portions, Kobayashi style, dipping it in the water.
the surviving recruits mentioned they were on a training mission with their commander when that's why they weren't in Anundul City when it got shunted.
Mm.
So then, if Torger is back at the site, would like to go in and supportively and lovingly, but see a person who wants to try torture, and having been on the receiving end of a lot of torture, just walk right up to Grin and be like, "Okay, so he wants to torture someone, huh?
I mean, I just want to know where the Palestria is.
Sure, yes. Okay, yes. You want answers to questions. You just got to hit him where it hurts. You don't ask yes or no questions. Ask specific questions, and also always take something.
Where's Palestria?
Take something.
So with these like vines piercing his temple, you can see they push in a little deeper when you ask the question.
Mhm.
And, like Oberon's controlling the vines, and he just says without any hesitation, like the vines are like prodding what's in there. Undercity of the City of Embers, tending to her wounds.
Oh God, I've got to think of all the other important questions.
And
before
Antyr
we-
would, I assume Antyr revealed what they saw in the vision, so you would have relayed that Arcane's bane is not with her.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'd like to. I know that.
Where?
Everybody,
Where's
everybody
Arcane's-
can ask questions if they have a question for this.
Okay.
Where's
There we go.
Arcane's bane?
I also I want to ask respectfully,
Yeah.
because I know this channel specifically has like want to put up a trigger warning for torture and
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
So
I don't really do torture stuff.
I want to be as respectful as possible on that.
Yeah,
I think also we're past the need to. I think the vines are just kind of
pulling the information out.
doing
kind of
it
deal.
for us.
Do
Yeah,
anything for
Yeah.
us.
yeah. I think it's the scene from Clone Wars where the whole Jedi Council
Yeah.
walks in and just like forces the information out of someone's brain.
Thank you. I
Where's
just wanted to.
where's Arcane's
that-
bane? He would say unsure. She sent it away.
What is the acrid going to be used for, and what is it? Where is it?
To destabilize everything that persists beyond the restoration, beneath every capital city that persists. And within the very roots of the tree. So basically, it's under every capital city that is still around if the city survived.
They essentially have access to the ley lines in some regard, so they put them at some of the nodes of the ley lines.
Essentially, and then Antyr also mentioned would have relayed that Hopper and Doe, you all got through a portal to get to this, get through the mythal. He asked while he was disguised as like an elderly dude, and then he dropped the disguise because he said, "Oh, I can trust you. I'm a leyline guardian," and then told him that you got through the mythal with the teleportation portal. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to tell Guardian Pashan about this." And then Antyr saw through the Chrono Recall that that wasn't the case. He relayed that information to the Umbral Court, so they're still able to access their hideout underneath the city members while the mythal is still up. And then that place is where they're manufacturing Acrid, and they're melting down all of the Cathadium mines that were in the deep, deep undercity beneath the city members. And it sounds like, and then he said it was beneath the roots of the tree, so also you can assume it's a bunch of it is under the Everlasting Arbor. But also, yeah, leyline convergence points are most likely have all been basically set with Acrid. because those are the roots of the tree.
So, Grin is going to essentially have a conversation with the rest of his team. Be like,
Alright, guys. We could send everybody to go get Velestria while we defend the tree from these other threats, like Igwilv, and Grazed, like Uberlike, I think is what they were called. We could have everybody go after Velestria while we defend the tree.
Able to.
Well, what do you think is the best call? I'm just saying, like, because we can do this right now, and just we know where the location of Velestria is right now. We could send what we have.
Why don't we swap that?
Yeah,
We go for Velestria.
I was thinking opposites because I made friends with some pretty cool people who I was just thinking, what you goes to all the convergence places, and each person that they do it, they goes to like a root convergence, and they remove the explosions.
See, but we've fought Velestria before.
We
Yeah,
We've
nearly
told
won.
everybody. We've told everybody what they can do. So,
Right, but okay, Grin, let's think about this. We were almost able to take her down. We have a giant whale thing headed toward the tree right now. There are very powerful people here. They can potentially defend the tree a lot better than we could solo, or even with a small contingency. I think our move is to go for Velestria while the war camp defends the tree from the whale and its spawn.
And you were told that the information they did find about the whale is that it's invulnerable to anything they possess.
And it's invulnerable to anything they possess. So it's more like a distract it from the tree potentially, and there are people who can do that.
Remember how I said you and Grin are able to discern when the threads of fate are
Yeah.
coalescing? Right now, this is
So if we're looking at the lines that me and Grin are going toward,
just that they're
We're
present. They're
opposites.
present right now, meaning the choice here will dictate major things to happen.
I feel like Velestria might be sending the Arcane's Bane to the tree.
Thermarn said he doesn't know where she sent it.
Yeah, that's just my guess.
Me too. That's what I'm assuming too. And I would
Also-
much rather have the stronger group of people here to potentially distract and engage against that to at least pull it attention while we take Velestria down.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning that if the group that goes after her fails, but the group here at the tree succeeds, we're kinda still at where we're at. But if vice versa is the case, then I think we're still at a net zero. Or I think we're at a net negative then.
Oh yeah, if Arcane's, or if the tree is destroyed / captured.
If the tree's destroyed, magic goes away entirely.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, like,
magical creatures
that's
die,
the
so
ballgame.
Grin would die as well.
Yeah.
So it's like if we succeed in killing her, but the tree is not defended.
It's
It-
very much pick your battle here.
So,
yeah.
so what you're saying is we was playing a game of capture the flag, and we needs the better people to defend than attack.
I'm kind of invested towards defending, if I'm going to be honest.
We could also then there is also the possibility if we do one at a time, and we don't rush it, and we focus all of our attention on a defense. We focus on holding the line, defend, push back whatever she sends at us, and then we go from there. It gives her some time to recover, but it also makes sure that we're moving from a more secure place when we actually move.
Now, I'll say the Mythil protects the city from teleportation, the city of Embers, so Flitz couldn't get you there magically. You'd have to get there.
Yeah.
Unless you find a fey crossing to pass through again find like a sneaky hidden portal to get into the city again.
Our ride, that we usually hitch a ride with, is.
Or, well, how high does the Mythil go?
It's the entire city.
No, how high does it go?
It's a dome.
It's a dome. It protects the entire city.
So
Right, so how high does it go? If we
What's the
teleport a
radius
mile
of the
above
city?
the city and
Can
then
we
airdrop
fall
in,
and then I cast feather fall and we land
At the
safely.
very last
this
second.
is an option.
Remember, Pashon made the Mythil to kill anyone who entered the city without permission, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So
And the Umbral
Pashan's
Knights,
no
Also,
longer
walking
in
would
charge
also
of
the
be-
Umbral
city.
Knights, the Umbral Knights and the Velestri have been in the Undercity apparently for this entire time while they've been working on their plans.
Yeah, so that's a tough
They
attack. Yeah.
may have. There's a chance they could have taken over the Mythil,
Yeah.
and now
And we also know the tree no longer has a defense. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
perhaps
like the defensive barrier. It still has like the Guardian
Yeah.
apparently
Yeah.
and everything else.
perhaps maybe we should dedicate our efforts to tracking down some allies that
And-
may or may
yeah.
not have attacked the tree.
And if you know, the commander said they were trying to get in contact with Druck and Dax because they contacted Flitz, and Flitz said he sent the two of them on a scouting mission to the tree to see, like, look for defensive points and whatnot. Said scouting mission, and that they haven't heard from them, but they do know something attacked the tree during said scouting mission, and that's when the
You could
barrier
also-
went up.
We can also see if somebody else could produce a barrier too. I mean, we've got multiple archfey around here. Like,
Minus
Mo-
one.
yeah, we're -1, but that one was the one producing it. We've got others; they could also help.
Listen, guys, I think that maybe we gotta look for the people that are missing. They popped up a couple times, even from, you know, the casual conversation of these Archfey when they were possessed. It might be important to find out what they were doing, why, and maybe align them to our cause
So our attention here.
and defend. Yeah.
You know, seems like the safer option because yeah, whoever goes and tries to attack her might be walking into a meat grinder. The other thing is she's in her current stronghold essentially, which if we allow her to come out and attack, you know, get to the point where she's coming out and attacking us, then she is getting to be prepared for her attack. That also means she's not in her stronghold and she is more vulnerable that way.
Just
So
know,
her defenses go down when she attacks.
just know when she sees any of us that have caused her harm in the past, she's probably gonna go all out.
Yeah,
All
you
those
get a
two
sense she
girls.
didn't view you all as a threat before. Now she very
Yeah.
much does, and she will be gunning for each and every one of you with deadly intent this time.
Take when we can use that to our advantage.
Just I have a question about
Yeah.
the Mythil.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a bear to keep what exactly out?
Whatever
Everything?
the caster decides.
Okay.
At the cost of the spell is like maintained through the caster's like life force usually, and they're dead. So who knows?
So it might not be
Alright.
there, or it may have been sustained by something else.
Okay, I'm gonna do something really interesting.
Okay, I like it.
Antyr is having a moment.
Oh, during all this, now they're no longer compelled. Well, you overhear their conversation all amongst themselves. They're not pushing much onto Thermarn because it seems you all have it handled. But you do overhear one of the Umbral Court's generals was killed. And they mention a comet being called down and it killed Castigar.
Fuck that bitch.
Oh.
Fuck that bitch.
When you over
Oh,
there,
so Flitz killed Castigar.
yeah,
Hell
Like
yeah!
immediately.
It was
Fuck
like
yeah,
the comet,
Flitz!
yeah.
it was like
Hell yeah.
yeah, it like
+1.
it went over his max HP. Velestri was
+1
fine,
in
but
hell.
yeah, Castigar was basically just annihilated by the scroll of the comet. So he gone.
Hell yeah, Flitz.
Okay.
That's
And-
another
Go on,
option.
King.
And
That
would
does bring up another option.
Would have told Ven all about it. So
Okay.
what is it?
I don't know.
What was Vonkar saying?
Well, there's another option there too, with what we can focus on as well, which is kind of along with defending. If we can find and draw out lieutenants, supporters, major players on her side and start picking them off one at a time.
Just turn this into Assassin's Creed. I love it.
Mr. Oh, where's that wizard?
Oh, he went to help people out, and they're gone.
Antyr's gonna summon Nidylus.
Yep.
Gonna grab the little sand pouch.
Okay.
He's gonna take the vial of acrid and hand it to Grin.
Okay.
Oh,
Take this back.
nice. What a
And
lovely
Antyr's
gift.
going to gingerly put the bead into the sand,
Okay.
tie it up,
Yep.
and Nidylus, remind you, is the Patu bird.
Yep. Back to a Patu bird.
Mm-hmm. And is going to take some time to make a little backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to make the little sand backpack of this, and is going to then send Nidylus to the City of Embers.
Like
And
a
is
long,
going
like
to
a long
relit.
flight there.
Mm-hmm.
How long? Isn't there like a distance of
They,
limit on?
I mean, you did
Antyr
say
does
Grin
not
could
worry.
see
No,
it
no, no.
from
They
this
can go as
location.
far as they want. I just can't.
That's not.
communicate
You
with
can't. You
them.
can't see the City of Embers from here. You can see the crash site of the airship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, but
the City of
it's-
Embers is like many miles away.
Find Familiar is not limited. It's only limited by what you can communicate telepathically. Like I can't do that
Okay.
after a mile.
But you could probably tell if your familiar dies.
Yeah, because I essentially have to lose that connection.
But
with
they're a
it.
spirit, so there's no exhaustion happening on this flight.
Yeah, and is sending in Nidylus and is going to communicate. We know a way into the Undercroft. We've seen it.
You didn't see a way into the Undercroft. That was
Well, we know it's at
hidden.
the fucking guard
But you
barracks.
know where
that
it
we're
is. Yeah,
defending
yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's one of the
Sending
entrances,
them
and then
down.
you saw the mine too. So
The mine's actually way better. Gonna go to the mine and just go straight down, and
What's their-
Antyr's
what's
going
their-
to get.
what's
You're
their-
gonna
what's-
watch Antyr
what's their
kind
flying
of
speed?
50 feet.
Oh, that's gonna take a long time.
If they are just going,
Wait,
yeah, if they're
50
going, they're going.
with a dash, and they don't get
That's still
exhausted.
a long
Fuck
time.
yeah!
But the idea is
That's
it doesn't
like-
matter. At some point, there will be a massive explosion. Sorry, City members, you gotta go.
Based on all the acrid under the city, if this detonates, the city will.
Yeah.
The things keeping the city. Yeah, it'll take the entire city out.
Hey guys, meta wise, -2%. Okay.
Yeah. I think we'll take the
like
L
this
on
is
that
the
one.
Umbral Knight stronghold, right? Like that was what
Yeah.
the Antyr
And
got
like,
was the vibe.
and then a million people or so living in the city.
Well,
Sorry, I'm gonna-
And Nidylus starts to fly off with
hey, that's
the.
a million less that we have to worry about being kept alive.
Oh my
Unfortunate.
God.
You know what? I'll be above the table with this. I'm marking that down as part of the path towards a bad outcome.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
Because
removing.
that's still
potentially a
going on.
stronghold
The
and
Grand
acro-
Restoration is still
acro
going
thing.
on,
Yeah.
so I'm keeping track of
Yeah.
the outcome still. That's definitely going to push it towards.
I mean,
Bad.
Balestria can't come back because I stuck her with the sword.
Correct.
Is
We're
that a
removing
sacrifice
the
Antyr's
acrid
willing to make?
fucking center and the Umbral Knight station.
Okay. Yeah. So Nidylus takes off with the.
Guys, we could have just sent like a strike team after her, knowing exactly her weaknesses.
Her
But
weakness
no.
is a big mega explosion of acrid.
Yeah. let's just atom bomb
That-
her location. Okay.
That destroys an entire city and all the people in it. Yeah.
You know what? It's fucking worth it in
Are you-
Antyr's mind.
okay, before
Antyr's,
we fully
Antyr's not a
commit
good
to this-
person.
Oh, it's already
Yeah.
been. It's already
Fully
been.
com-
It's already
I
been
Antyr
committed.
just did it. We
Nidylus
did. We
Antyr's
just,
committed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
we don't
I
know
just
where
wanna-
what Antyr just did or why or
Alright.
where
No.
that bird was sent
No,
to.
that's fine.
And yeah. Also,
Yeah.
nobody knows where Nidylus is going and why.
Very
Yeah, that's
likely
true.
just gonna run into a mythal and explode. So
Yeah.
High possibility.
that's honestly what we're
Okay.
checking here.
Yeah.
That the managing to get in is the bonus.
What's up? What's up, Torger?
I just wanted to help you out, so I just did some quick math.
Oh, perfect.
So at 100 feet, wow,
100
100 feet per second, which is that dash speed, with no exhaustion. 100 feet per second, it's going to be 68 miles per hour, is what the cruising speed of Nidylus is to the city of Embers.
All right. Give me a
so
second. I'm
that'll
pulling out the miles here. 22.
Yeah, I got you.
times
So it's going to be 68 miles an hour.
264 miles. From here.
264 miles.
Oh,
So
that's
that
actually.
means
Yeah, that's
like 4.5 hours.
Okay.
About like
Yeah.
Way less than I
That's just-
thought.
Yeah.
A little over 4 hours.
What happens?
He's
Love
gonna get there.
non-exhaustion.
Like there is a cruise missile
Heading
Of-
towards the city of embers.
And it's the shape of a wide mouth, fucking brimmed bird.
I mean, the bird has to make it through a mythal
Yeah.
into the city, through the mines,
Mythals-
past everybody making attacks of opportunity against
Antyr,
it.
you're a wizard. Mythals are tied to the life force of the caster. There's a good chance the mythal is no longer there.
yeah, that's what Antyr.
Oh,
just
no.
teleport.
Antyr, that's why I asked that question. Is really to get it out of you, is saying
But-
it's tied to
But
Kenna.
you're not sure. So Andalis is flying there, and I guess you'll
And
know
all
in
I
a few
dial it
hours.
doesn't. Andalis does not need to even get all the way in. If it's a concentrated B,
yeah.
the idea is it's going to be a bigger explosion to hopefully.
Plus all the accurate in the Undercity. But at this point, Andalis is too far away to be commanded or dispelled differently. He is too far away.
Sorry, y'all. Antyr is not
alright.
out of all the
Antyr
people
made a
that have
choice.
this fucking need to do this.
I like
Antyr
it.
is
I
the
think
worst one.
It's
This
Yeah,
is
out of
not
the
how I
box.
envisioned World War III starting.
I didn't think
This
you
is
could just...
how we sculpt. This is how we sculpt the world. Okay.
Exactly.
Is this how we become murder hobos officially?
No,
Are we
no.
officially murder hobos?
There's
Not
only one
we.
murder.
No, 'cause
not
there's not enough
we.
people around for.
Hey,
we're still-
hey, Kate, not we, Lex.
Yeah,
Very
right.
specifically
The rest
This
of
is
us
how
there's no
Lex
we
gets-
here.
Not
Very
Lex,
specifically
Antyr.
Lex.
All right.
I still
for-
feel guilty.
4.5 hours from now.
We feel the
Just a
whole world
mushroom
shake.
bomb.
Yeah, there's just like a white flash on the horizon.
Oh.
The city of embers turns into Bikini Atoll.
I'm
A couple,
gonna
like-
roll Andalis' stealth check behind the
Sure.
scenes for them flying through the
Mm-hmm.
mines once they get there, just proactively.
So meanwhile, we're all planning and trying to figure out what to do, and Antyr is just sitting there like checking their
I'll let
watch.
you know what Andalis got likes.
And just maybe after maybe sometime this week, you and I can have like a call where I pitch you like a Chernobyl style campaign, like maybe just a side quest next campaign for like a city that's like
So
like Chernobyl stuff.
I hope you all haven't been like too cemented in Jesus.
Oh no.
Think of
This might affect things a lot. Oh boy.
yeah.
It was our hub city, guys.
All of the
Hey, we
Yeah, but
don't we
what
don't have a say. It was all Lex.
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah, but
guys.
what does that mean? Our hub city. We had Anundial City was our hub city in the last campaign, and then we made a wish house. So like,
Nah, that's true.
you know,
We're also,
We can wish the city of embers back into
the
existence,
whole world's
guys.
getting,
It's
getting
fine.
fucked anyway. So you know,
all right. So anybody doing anything else? Oh yeah, Thermar. You're still questioning Thermar.
yeah.
yeah.
Antyr just quietly committed a war crime while we're in the middle of doing other
Yeah.
things.
I'll do that.
I
That sounds
definitely
like-
want to wrap up the questioning before we end
Yeah.
because
Yeah, no, that sounds like a problem for some. That sounds like a problem for the future funky casuals. Those
Yeah.
basically.
right now we're in this moment.
I didn't anticipate nuclear Putu bird.
Hey, if they did not follow their OSHA mandated explosive containment guidelines,
You know what?
then
That
hey,
is
that's
right.
Yeah.
I messaged
Proper-
Lex,
Banishee
Got
OSHA
ladders
is
and
real for a
gloves.
reason.
I messaged Lex what Andalis got on the stealth check. It's very good.
Oh, boy.
Oh no.
Baby birds
okay.
trained well.
So, any final questions before Thermar? You can see he's like starting to lose consciousness as the vines are like basically mashing his brain.
Did we ask when
Yeah.
they were planning to attack?
Nope.
When they were planning to
You asked
Either
where-
when, how, details about the attack. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think motivations are even more important here.
Uh,
Because-
yeah.
Like,
So you're asking. So rather than when and how, you're more concerned with why.
yeah.
He said make the.
Because
He
we
said
know,
make the
we know
world a
that
better
it's
place.
going to be
Yeah.
as soon as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know where because we're right there.
If you
so
ask
motivation is super important to just
I
kind of
assume
figure out like
the commanders want to know when the attack's going to happen, so one of them would ask when it's going to happen. He'd reveal it was supposed to happen the day the Grand Restoration started, but she was too injured to do it. So you guys, good job
Delayed
there.
the attack.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I feel back.
Now he in terms of when it's going to happen, he would say when she's back to full strength. So,
Probably
Arm
like.
back.
sometime
and you would say
tomorrow.
based on the
Maybe
wound,
not ever.
you said based on the wounds she received, like a week or so.
So definitely not in 4 hours.
Yeah,
Uh,
Antyr does the point and wink while committing.
they
I like to
fucking-
imagine like we're doing this questioning and it's like the background of this animated show. You see Antyr just like do this. It's like very much like that kind of like half detail drawing of like a
Yeah.
background character,
Oh,
and then
fuck.
like we're just sitting around and just and then it flashes
Have you
back
ever
to
like?
them.
Have you ever had a Sam?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a player make a choice that has caused your entire campaign to kind of like crumble apart in your hands, but in a good way?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
I had one where I had to stop playing and I had to go lie down for half an hour.
I think I'm gonna have to do that. Okay.
Boy.
I mean, I feel like Lex, you've become the fucking Dick Cheney.
I am become death.
Yeah.
Destroyer of
Yeah,
worlds.
Justin sitting here is like, yeah, you can ask questions, but I'm gonna tell you those questions no longer matter.
No. Yeah. Generally, the characters don't know because Antyr did that by
Yeah.
themselves.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
There's a show and it's called Bored to Death, and it's not so much the subject matter that I'm concerned with, but there's an actor, Zach Galifianakis, in it, and he's really upset. And I imagine that right now he gets really upset because of something that happens, but he's just like, okay, what I need is a beer and an ice cream and a nap. And that's what I feel. I feel that deep in my bones that I need a beer.
Okay.
I just want to know if this war crime is actually gonna be followed through with.
I mean,
So-
in my mind, it's like this would mean if this works, it means like if any of them dropped of like a barrel or like accidentally tripped or something mid carry,
Yeah.
it would also have done the same
I
thing.
should have saved the level up for this session based on what just happened. Okay, so
Level up again.
to get back on to kind of finish this off here. Yeah, asked about motivation. He says she wants to make the world a better place without magic, and people she believes are trustworthy and wouldn't use magic for nefarious means, she would grant access to it. It seems very much like
I mean, very. I mean,
it's
fascist.
not. It's very fascist.
But it's fascist, but like idealistic fascist, of course. But
It's
that's-
it's like Thanos.
That's fascist.
It's like instead of solving the problem another way, it's I'm just gonna kill everyone and start over. Like Thanos snap, I'm gonna erase half the universe and that's gonna fix it.
Yeah.
This is very much like I'm gonna kill everything and we'll rebuild from the ashes.
We've
Now-
seen the craze aspect of it. Like in her writing, we can tell there was a
Yeah.
level of just disconnect. And to me, and for Antyr, it also plays into because the Fae are so connected to the Weave, with Cathadium being a direct corruption, it just kind of fucking makes
It
sense.
seems like she wants to also erase the corruption to this whole thing that they made, they created.
And she's the fucking top notch. Like she was the like OG, we can imagine. Like
Yeah.
she's probably the most connected to the Weave, and for her to go crazy.
aside from the Weaver, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we can imagine is also Fae.
Yeah, the Weaver is Aelenor's mother.
Mother, right, yeah. So it's like
Okay. Any final questions for Thermorn before his brain turns to soup? I'd say you've got like 2 or 3.
Oh god damn it! I can't do goofs then.
we got
but
it,
you've
actually.
got
we
like
did all of the
you've
all
got
of the
you've
best
got
questions.
you got the
we
important
no.
ones. Yeah, so
Vonkar's gonna ask one.
yep.
What vulnerabilities is she aware of that the tree has?
Ooh.
Is that one still useful after she's dead?
Destabilizing the central pool where all the fate touched gather.
Yeah.
The pool that you and Hopper were floating in briefly. You don't know where it is, but you know it's somewhere within the tree, and it's protected by a massive, what sounded like a colossal bear.
Yeah, and also by the same token, what's the demon whale's weakness.
Nothing that I know of. She did not relay that to me.
Yeah, but what's its favorite food?
No.
It
Ooh,
dies.
that's a good one.
Magic.
Yeah, we know
Ooh.
that.
Oh, I'd take that.
And then Thermorn dies.
Okay, fair enough. I'm
Fair
sorry.
enough.
Fair
Half the
enough.
party says fair enough.
It
That's
consumes-
right.
consumes-
Antyr walks back in. So,
All right. So the commanders take that all in. They begin like frantically talking amongst themselves, planning what to do. Meanwhile, Antyr knows what's going on.
I mean, Antyr doesn't even know. Like, Antyr is just like, that might work. We'll find out in 4 rounds. Like,
But the commanders, yeah, Oberon.
That might work.
Oberon commands army, so he's gonna be like, all right. He went southern for a second. All right. I think a bunch of us should, now that the barrier's done, we should send scouting teams up into the tree to investigate it. Send scouting teams to the City of Embers through teleportation portals to go there and check out the Undercity and root her out. And
Oh,
I think
Antyr get it?
I'm not sure if what.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but does Antyr hear that?
oh, nobody. Yeah, but also nobody knows what Antyr did. So they're talking
Yeah.
about sending people to the City of Embers to pull her out and take her out, basically.
And Antyr's not saying it.
I'd
Oberon begins
feel like-
Oberon and Ingolf begin to like open portals, like slowly begin to open portals to send people through.
well, maybe we should just focus on the tree. Let's worry about the tree. We might have the big whale coming. Let's just focus on the tree for now. The city is okay. It's there.
How do you know? She's under the city. We could attack her
I
now.
saw it
She's
in the vision. It'll be fine.
Oh, if Gothel was here, she would have been on your side. That sucks.
Sorry, Gothel.
Rip.
All right. Actually, yeah. Muster all of the forces.
Give it about
here.
5 hours before 6 hours. A good 6 hours
That's
before we go.
specific.
And the best.
No, we'll station all of our forces here, defend the tree if Arcane's Bane shows up. And
Give it a
if
day.
these other factions show up, and then Oberon begins like barking orders to the Green Guard, and they begin mobilizing. You can hear like the other commander, like the other faction leaders, they go out and begin talking to their units, and you can hear people like this late. It's like 9 p.m. now. They begin like marching. You can hear like small little squads marching towards in the distance towards the tree, and things are beginning to mobilize and form up now that they have a general idea of what to expect. But no one is being sent to the City of Embers. Is there anything you all would like to do before you retire for the evening?
in their heads gonna like say, hey gang, I think we need to recruit Druk and Dax. If they're still around, they're powerful, and we gotta see if we can convince them.
Okay.
They're off hiding. We gotta figure this out. We gotta find them before anybody else does.
Do we want to be part of investigating the tree?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
All right. You all begin to retire towards your tent. This conversation went on a long time.
Mhm.
Yep.
I just like condensed it.
Right.
Yeah.
So as you're all heading back towards your tent, this is probably around like midnight at this point. About 4.5 hours after Andylus was sent away. As you're all heading towards the tent, there is a colossal flash of lavender-colored light very, very far on the horizon, about 274 miles away.
It's very specific.
Lex, I don't know how you can do this. Actually, go and dice rolling these for me, please.
Wait, was Lex doing the whole if it's bigger than your
Uh-huh,
thumb?
I was.
For
Yeah.
Fallout, yeah.
Yeah. What do I
It
do? Dice
is-
roll
it's
it?
bigger than your thumb.
Oh no.
Go to dice rolling needs, Lex.
Okay.
This might lag everything out, but I'm stoked.
Crashes all of our computers.
I
It
can't
might.
wait to see this number.
What do I do? Where do I go?
You're detonating all of the dice rolling needs on our Discord.
Oh, sorry. In
Oh,
there.
on
I was-
Discord.
channel.
Oh, okay.
You're
Sorry,
Not
sorry,
even
sorry. I
gonna
was,
use
like,
D&D.
Googling it. I'm
You're-
like,
don't
dice
use D.
roller needs.
You'll crash D&D Beyond. I need to think of this in my head. there's
That'll
an
be a lot.
entire reserves of Cathadium under, or acrid underneath the City of Embers, and a bunch of still residual Cathadium, and they've been. Okay. Roll me.
I don't think I could.
And it's
Okay,
amplified.
roll.
Each explosion is amplified per source of acrid. So is the blast radius. Okay, roll me 300 d10.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. Will this work? Oh,
This is the best I can think of for
Oh,
setting
sure
off a
did.
nuclear bomb.
1,675.
Okay.
I rolled a lot of
many
tens and a lot of
numbers.
ones.
You see this like
You rolled a lot more tens.
you
than
see
ones.
this
I did.
flash of like purple.
Ones are smaller. It looks.
You see this flash of like lavender colored light brighten the sky almost 300 miles away. And a deep unsettling like rumble through the entire like ground. A colossal shockwave rushes. You're far enough away where the shockwave doesn't hit this war encampment, but it does hit the northern peaks of the arid waste peaks here on the map. It does hit the northern touches of that mountain, and you see that colossal mountain on the horizon fracture and explode. Looking around, you can see people in the encampment who were disguised umbral knights who begin to fall over one by one, dead, as their commander, their queen, is horrifically vaporized in that blast, and Queen Valestria is dead. And that's where we're going to end the session for the week.
Oh boy! Justin's got some prepping to do.
I do.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
Lex
I'm
is
so
a
sorry.
You ever have to go
war
back to the drawing board,
criminal.
like at midway through,
Uh,
like your end game?
Certified.
That's exciting. The campaign just went.
Hey,
Justin,
Hey,
just-
hey,
we
Lex,
go.
how
We're
does it
we're
feel-
really far away from the end.
Oh my God! Wait,
Lex, how does it feel to be Harry S. Truman?
wait, no,
But-
Lex. How does it feel to sprint to the top of the kill count for the
Oh,
campaign?
geez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lex Antyr just killed like 1.5 million people.
Yeah.
And
Is that including all
I
of the
think
Umbral
I will
Knights
say
in the
this.
camps?
I think a lot of this also stems from Anthony Gothel. Her fucking sacrifice. The anchor for Anthony
also,
was her.
most of the reserves of Cathadium on this continent are under
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
the
It
city.
says I score. What does that mean? Did he break it?
I
It
forgot.
says
I should add one more thing, because Cathadium is what Kenna was going to use to keep the capital cities aloft.
Uh-huh.
As this happens, the deep rumbling, as you're all looking out, strangely, the clouds that linger look like they're getting higher and higher as the continent of Cathatooine begins to fall from the sky.
Oh God!
That's where we'll end the
Guys, don't
session.
worry.
That's where we'll end the session for the week. As you
Guys,
just
don't
brought
worry, I
down,
have 8 Cathadium crystals.
as you just brought down the magical structures
Don't worry,
holding
guys.
the continent aloft.
They're gonna be
Don't worry,
fine.
guys. Grin can fly, and Torger can still fall.
Slow fall.
Yeah. So
Got boots.
this entire continent's falling into the ocean.
We've got so many like 17th plus level characters here. Someone's got Wish.
Yeah.
Oh
No.
boy.
Flint's has
oh
got
boy.
Wish.
No.
Literally
Wish-
never.
Wish-
a
I don't-
spell
Wish
that
isn't-
Ogden-
Wish isn't in my setting because you have to go through a bunch of rituals to get it, and the gods like sealed it away, so people just didn't have Wish.
Oh.
I
on
got
them.
lucky with a
Oh.
genie last game.
Oh.
We're gonna. Hey guys.
Yeah?
Maybe a week off.
No. I got it in my.
Oh,
we're all-
okay,
It's
okay.
already in my head spinning around.
Okay.
We'll pick up there next week as this continent falls from the sky. I might have to stop. I might have to stop keeping track of the restoration outcome stuff too.
Because we just fucked it so bad that it's
We're
like,
like
never mind.
negative
The scale no
20
longer
now.
makes sense.
Fuck. I know he's planning on a fully magical character next campaign. I'm so sorry.
Oh
Wait,
no.
what?
Oh
You just fuck magic entirely.
What? No way. Come on.
We give magic and we take it away.
Um,
The
The
tree's
tree's
there.
still
the two
alive.
wizards.
but the
Oh, wait,
con-
but the tree's on the
and the
continent.
continent's plumbing
Oh.
miles and miles
no.
down into the.
Okay. So if we like
Nah.
Hey
cut
guys, if
out,
we can't
No,
save,
no, no.
Just
guys,
the
if we
tree.
can't save the weave, we've got to save a thread of the weave.
So
Come on.
we'll pick up there next
Yeah.
week. Good night, everybody.